I
Welcome
don't
to
know if it
BabbleGab.
started yet.
Yeah, we have.
Have we?
I think
We
so.
have.
It takes a couple
Oh,
seconds to work. Yeah.
well, hey, everybody.
Hi.
Sorry,
Hi.
Putt. I didn't mean to yell at you first thing.
That's okay.
Usually we
I'm
gotta
used
wait.
to it.
I wait about 5 minutes before yelling at people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just don't say the F word or anything for the first couple minutes, so you won't get
Yep.
Which sucks
real.
because that was how Terry used to start off the wrong channel shows by saying something out
Yeah.
of the blue, and sometimes it was a word people didn't expect and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not like we get
Like,
monetized anyway.
well, it's
Because
like,
they had the F word during the groovy era, but they didn't really use it like every other word in a sentence.
yep,
I think that's
that was
mostly
their
just
problem.
dumb people.
I
Yeah.
mean,
So I actually got the scene with Rob, Hetty, and Buck finished. That was pretty quick. I thought it might take all week, so that's good. Keeps me on track. It's a there three of it's a threesome, and then Buck is a
huh?
donkey. Is a donkey with uh
Sounds like one of those Neb deals.
yeah.
Oh boy.
Actually, I think Buck is a mule. Actually, I would think so.
And you're showing inappropriate content.
Well,
Well,
mule's got almost got a head sort of like a horse head.
yeah. So I think he's a mule. Um, he just basically is a horse with long ears.
Ah,
Okay.
Um, Yeah, I'm glad I got that part done. Oh, I want this thing done. Hey, are you guys surprised
At
that
what?
I haven't said I need help with this next scene? That's the first time ever, isn't it?
It is.
yeah. I kind of feel kind of let down. We're supposed to.
Well, it
Uh-huh.
ain't over yet, and I still got a trailer to make, so
Oh yeah.
it ain't all over. But gosh, I at least got the scene going though. That was the big thing,
Yeah.
figuring out what was going to happen. Because remember, we've been planning that scene for 4 years now, literally.
Seems like it. Yeah.
It is. I look at these scenes earlier in the film, and it's almost like childhood memories making them. I mean, really, that's how it was almost a lifetime ago when I started this thing. In 4 years, that's too long.
That's a long time. Yeah.
So I bought I got a printer that's supposed to show up tomorrow.
Ah.
Oh, good.
A photo
What?
printer. It's an EcoTank photo printer.
Okay.
So it's a lot higher up than an inkjet. It's supposed to make like lab quality photos.
Nice.
And with it uses bottles instead of cartridges, and it's like supposedly it's a lot more reliable, and you don't have to like change cartridges all the dang time. It's like the bottles will
Yeah.
last like a year or two, supposedly.
Oh, yeah, my inkjet, you get to like use it once and then something's out, and then you gotta go down to Walgreens and buy it black again for whatever reason. I don't care if you print all in color, the black's gonna drain right out of it.
Yeah, well, we'll see. And it prints 13 by 19,
Well, that's good.
so I'm hoping it's the last printer I'll ever have to get. Because I kind of hate printers.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
Usually the only time I do it is if I have to print out some document, court order or something.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Hopefully it'll be okay. Um,
Well, you get enough of those court orders, you won't need a printer no more.
Yeah.
well, how am I going to print money then?
Oh boy.
But this printer, it says if you print money, you can launder it, and it won't. The ink won't run off the $100 bills or whatever, the 20s.
What you can
Is
do is
that
just get Zimbabwe money, $1 billion, whatever the hell, and just cross out Zimbabwe and write United States on it.
yep,
There you go, $1 trillion. Yeah.
yep. Or you could do it the old fashioned way and hand counterfeit the money like they did in, ancient
No.
times or whatever.
It's funny when I do hear somebody say money laundering. I just my mind automatically is like these front load like greenish gray utilitarian washers, and they're shoving all these paper money in it. Or
Well,
I
did,
always
did,
picture that.
did you ever see the Timothy Dalton movie, the Was it
It's
License
not.
to Kill?
Yes, I have. Yeah. Yeah.
They make that joke in the movie.
Oh wow, it's been a while since I've seen it. I've got it. I've got most of the Bond movies on DVD, but
Yeah.
I don't watch a whole
No,
lot because they piss me off.
yeah, but
Mm.
the Robert Davi's dude, the guy he's working with who has the ship, they blow him up in a decompression chamber, and it's got all his money in it. And the henchman says, "What should we do with the money?" And the Davi says, "Launder it."
I didn't
'Cause it's
like
got
that scene. I
stuff
thought
all
it
over
was just a little too grotesque and disturbing, even for a
it.
Bond
Yeah,
movie.
There was one of the Deadpool movies where they would put Deadpool or his girlfriend in this oxygen chamber, and then they would threaten to torture him by, leaking out all the oxygen, and then slowly, reintroducing the oxygen, and it was supposed to really hurt. Well, that's not what hurts. What hurts is when you can't exhale,
yeah,
your body getting rid of carbon dioxide. I said, when you lose oxygen, all you're going to do is get sleepy and go to sleep and die.
yeah.
I mean, that's oxygen deprivation there. You don't even feel it.
Steve's having trouble getting in because he said his messenger isn't working.
Well, let's send him another McGillicuddy.
There he
There we go.
is.
Tell them to go launder some money. Go, take you
Yeah.
down to the laundromat and throw it in there, and then
Yo,
Yay.
Hey, Steve.
hey, Steve.
what's that?
All right. Any
What's
luck getting Zelensky to join us?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's on the other line.
Okay.
Sounding good, Steve.
Oh, thanks.
I noticed your vocals, your new ones for the film.
Mhm.
There's not a lot of bass in them. They're very. I've had to like bass them up to get them to match your other one.
Really?
They're fine. I mean, I'm not asking you to redo them. I mean, it's fine. It's just I've got to kind of EQ them. It was just a note that your others were a little more full before. So maybe maybe it's the EQ setting on your mixer or something. Could be.
I don't know. It sounds good here. Maybe.
It's only in, when I like the dolphin scene. It's like it's like all you have to do is climb this ladder and jump into and you could just tell where it's spliced. You could tell the difference.
Oh yeah.
But it's all right. It still sounds professional. It's just I just noticed the EQ. So Steve played a song on his show today.
Probably did.
It was that tragedy, when you see a cow and you don't know how, it's tragic. That one. And
Yeah.
I got to thinking, I always liked the music. I just could never stand that novelty singing. And it's like asked Steve if he had an instrument, and he was able to make an instrumental version with his software, take the vocals out, so we got to hear it without the monkey vocals.
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. I just thought it was. I'm saying that like the Beach Boys, Carl Wilson. I can hear music, or wouldn't it be nice? He could do some falsettos, but they're nice and smooth,
Yeah.
and not overdone. And then in the Bee Gees, it's like it's just, they all sound like Edith the entire song, and it's like when Frankie Valli did it in the New Beats, it was a novelty. It was supposed to be funny. And then by the time the Bee Gees did it, I guess it was now sexy, and I don't get it. I don't get that kind of singing.
I don't either.
But Steve said that he's going to try to take the recorder flute out of the Windy song from the Association. So that I would like. If you do that, Steve, I will play it on a future Fun Hour if you do it successfully, and I'll give you credit for it even.
Have to. There's actually an online thing I subscribe to where you can separate every single vocal and not all, but all instruments.
I tell you what, if you could get rid of that stupid slide whistle, I would be happy. Because I love that song, Windy, except for that just ruined it for me. It's like someone's, it's like it's like a in your ear.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was.
You could take the cowbell out of Don't Fear
the Reaper
Oh,
song.
that'd be a good one to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I heard an interview with a guy from the band, and he said the studio recording of it, that the album, that the cowbell isn't that prominent, but it said the radio stations, the way they compress it, it really brought that cowbell out where it was loud.
Oh wow.
Oh.
It was an interesting, because Darren always thought they had a song, "She's as Pretty as a Foot." It was supposed to be derogatory, and the guy that was interviewed said that that was so and so. He was trying to be funny, but he said it actually a foot can be beautiful, kind of like Neb.
Yeah, the beautiful, the beautiful and charming Neb.
There we go.
Hello, Neb.
Hey, you got that wrong. What's up, guys?
Seems to have room for 5 boxes.
Oh, there.
5 boxes.
Nibs.
I think there's room for 6.
Yeah.
You get more than 6, then it'll be more like the Brady Bunch, and then you'll need 9 to even it out, and then we'll be looking up and looking down at each other. With the blue
And
squares.
somebody will be jacking it in like one of the squares.
Nibs is here.
Yeah, hey, Neb. I like what we did at the end of the Brady Apology None film, where they're in those Brady squares and Barry falls through the through the top square and through the middle one, and into Zen square.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
that was funny. I don't know. I haven't seen most of those old Apology None films in years.
Yeah.
I can't justify it. I can't justify watching Last
You can
Page of Summer
justify it.
because do what?
You can justify it.
I can't
It's easy.
because if I'm watching The Last Page of Summer, that means I'm not QAing this new film, which I've got to get done. So
No,
when
but
this
you can
film's
still
done, then I can
justify it, dude.
justify it again. I can
Yeah.
watch the old stuff.
So when we were supposed to get Gottschalk back there? Did you say March or April?
You said March. Now it's March. That's today.
Rabbit.
Well, we better tell that ex-cop to march his butt in here then.
Well, yeah, it's the one date a year that's actually a military command.
Yeah.
What, today?
March 4th.
Bump, bump.
Don't.
If May the 4th, which is 10 times stupider.
Yeah.
That took a second. I'm really slow, man.
March 4th is like telling the troops to march forward. May the 4th is May the 4th be with you. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah. Star Wars.
Steve is
Day.
prepping in case we get 9 people and do the Brady thing.
I'm ready for the Brady.
What are you
thing.
doing?
now in Scotland, they got a bridge that's called the Firth of Forth. It's not the Firth one, and they're not Forth bridges. It's just the Firth of Forth. Maybe they were thinking of 3/4, the second of Forth, and the third of Forth, and the fourth of Forth, but they never built those.
Yeah, but Canada tried to emulate and make their version of the 4th bridge, and it collapsed and killed like 80 workers. Stupid Canadians.
Well, they didn't have Brunel, Isambard Kingdom Brunel.
Any luck getting new mics? Anybody?
On the one that you suggested.
Who needs a new
What's the
mic?
matter with the one I suggested?
Well, I'm just waiting on it to show up. I ordered it.
Oh,
but it's
okay.
not here yet.
Yeah.
It's
I got my Blue Yeti from fucking 10 years ago.
I was telling Plutt and Tony I ordered a printer,
Yay.
a photo
Nice.
printer, and it's an Eco Tank printer, and it's like high end. It's like supposed to give lab quality photos, and it's like it's not an inkjet, so you don't have to replace the cartridges and stuff. So we'll see how it goes. It's like it'll print 19 by 13 thing. So maybe I can make an Apology None poster and stuffs.
Oh, man. I
maybe
dig
so.
that. Yeah. Get one of those 3D printers. Those look
I've got
pretty cool.
one.
Do you? Why haven't you printed out like Apology None figures, dude? That's what I've been waiting
I
for.
did. I printed out a Terry Sommer one, and it's his I think his leg or his arm, something broke off as soon as I made it. And I made one of Tracy, but it was in car form, which it was a Transforama one, and I printed it out. And now it turned out pretty good, except 3D printing is hard. You can't just print any model you make in 3D because it's like even the 3D car I made, it's got to be sanded and filled. It's like it's not baby smooth like it should be.
Does it come out like painted or anything? You know,
They can come
You gotta
out
paint
different
it.
colors if you a higher end printer's got different color filaments, so you can do multicolor. But it seems to me like the best results is if you hand paint it anyway. But what do I know? I'm not very good at it. Well, you've seen my gator costume, right? My Florida man. That head was 3D printed. I made that.
Yeah, it was a nice head though.
Thank you.
You make, yeah.
I just
Yeah,
got to
good
get
head,
the
dude.
figure out how to get the jaw mechanism to work with my jaw. Because
Just stop.
well, no, I mean this one here.
That's what she said.
That was a heavy mask and that I made, and the jaws worked perfectly with mine when I talked. It talked, and I can't understand why I can't. I think maybe it's because the gator jaw is light. I don't know.
Maybe, and also because gators don't actually talk.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
So the jaw might not be designed for talking.
I saw a cartoon character of a gator talk.
Did
What
you?
was that? Wally the Gator?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
think I
talked.
was never a Hanna-Barbera Yogi Bear fan, except when he was caught in the tent with Boo Boo having sex.
Yeah.
He's always doing that.
Boo-boo.
That's one of the
Golly,
few banned
yo.
episodes.
Golly,
That's true.
Yogi, you're bigger than I thought you were.
Hey, can you play that the Brokeback thing, Steve?
Do I let's see the Yogi? Do I have that?
Yeah, I think it's called Brokeback.
What happened in that movie?
Brokeback,
What was it called?
Brokeback Yogi. I don't know.
No, the title flowed better than that.
It was
Bareback
Five
Mountain.
Smurfs.
Bareback Mountain.
Bareback,
Brokeback Mountain, yeah.
Bareback
No,
Mountain.
five Smurfs and a nickel. Yeah.
I don't have that one.
You know what, you used to play. I've only heard it on your show, Steve.
Well, just go ahead and
Nice.
queue up Brokeback Mountain and watch that tonight.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Just everybody starts squealing. Woo-wee!
Oh, that's Deliverance, yeah.
Have any of you actually seen that movie?
Yeah, I saw
Deliverance?
Deliverance. Yeah.
He did.
No, I
yeah.
meant Brokeback Mountain.
Oh,
Yeah, I
hell
saw
no.
it.
No.
Hell no.
Oh, Brokeback Mountain. Yeah, I've seen that movie.
Yeah, of course, Steve.
I had to watch it back. What was that? 20 some odd years ago, because I was doing a parody, and someone said we shouldn't do a parody of something you haven't seen before. So I said, okay.
We
I'll
do it
watch
all the time.
that.
I would have just said, well, I'm not going to do a parody of it then because I ain't going to watch that shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he still hasn't
Well,
seen
against the
Raiders of the
grain,
Lost
Steve.
Ark or Wizard of Oz or any of that, but he's seen Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
Wow. You
Hey,
never saw
Steve,
Raiders?
what you need to do is make a Raiders of the Lost Ark parody, and that means you got to watch it.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I have the one
But you-
I
Go
have
ahead,
the
Steve.
Beatles breakup. That's what I got.
You
I
don't have Bareback. It's not a Brilliant Garbage.
Oh, it's not.
It's a Neb one.
Oh, and Neb. Well, that's I look at the wrong folder.
Yeah, that's Ned, by the way.
I don't. Still
Pay no
think-
attention to that name, that his assumed name.
Yeah, where do I change my name on this thing at? Is it like a box place or something?
Yeah, you go up to the upper right,
Mm.
and there's some dots when you go to the upper right of your picture.
Yep, go to the bottom. It says rename.
Yep.
Conspiracy.
Do you see the one where the guy was in court and he was on Zoom court and his name was Buttfucker 9000? And
Yeah,
the
I
judge
think
is
I
like-
remember that.
The judge is like, you think it's okay to come into my courtroom with the name like Buttfucker 9000? And the guy's like, what? Huh? And he's like, I'm sorry, Judge. I didn't realize, and he's going on. and
This
the
is my
judge just
daughter's computer.
well, he would just keep looking him up. Actually, it was his sister's. His sister
Oh.
did that to him.
Oh, as a joke?
Yeah.
Damn.
Or the guy that showed up as a kitten?
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, yeah, I
the
remember
lawyer.
that.
I'm not really a cat.
When I couldn't figure out how to turn the filter off.
Yeah, I know. That's funny.
Oh, guess what I found?
Dildo.
What's that?
I found the bareback yogi.
Yeah.
Play it. This is our pal in the bottom there with the hat, who right
Yeah.
now is Derek Albright, but shall be renamed.
He's working on it. He's not very good. He's clicked on everything.
Okay.
I'm the only. Well, no, Steve and I are the boomers here, but it just seems like everybody
Steve,
else is a bigger
don't
tech
don't
boomer
play it
than I am.
yet.
Okay.
Let's wait till we
Wait
got
till we get-
somebody here to. If it's just us,
Yeah.
we've all heard it before. Wait till
No,
the
everybody
people
will.
are here.
Okay. Oh, wait.
Sorry, Tony.
You know,
Didn't mean to
I did,
interrupt. I wanted to stop Steve before he started that.
That's the only
Okay.
way.
You know, I did make one last skit. What was it? Last year or something? You remember what's his name? Major Screwhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he wanted like a Beatles thing. So I did this lengthy one. It wasn't really funny in particular, but you know the old Paul McCartney is dead and they replaced him. Well, I went
Yeah.
with
Oh, yeah.
Ringo was dead, but they replaced him with a potato and nobody noticed that it was a potato the whole time.
That's all I get on my phone.
Oh, hello.
Find creators you like. It's like, okay,
All right.
I guess
Showing
she's
us
pretty
porn on his phone.
Well, it's
You ever
pretty close.
you ever see those guys that crash the Zoom meetings and raise hell? Like there's one, I don't know how they crash Zoom meetings, but
Titty
there's this
pussy.
one guy that what's that?
Titty pussy.
Huh?
No, not titty
What?
pussy.
Okay.
They come in and they will,
Goodbye.
like
Such
get
language.
into a Zoom meeting, and like some of the funniest ones are this guy that uses the recordings of this dude named Uncle Joe, or they call him Uncle Joe, but he's like this young black kid, maybe in his 20s, and he'll come in there. The people are having the meeting, and he goes, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes, "You want to know how to ghost fuck a bitch?" He goes, "What you do is you get you and your partner," and he goes, "and you get your partner to start ramming her in the butt, and then you go outside and wave from the window." He goes, "That's how you ghost fuck a bitch." He goes, "Game is game." And they cut it off. Then he
I
cuts
wish we
out,
could cut it off.
and he has about 20 of those that are just, I mean, hilarious. A lot of the people in there are laughing along because they know what's up. Sometimes you get people who are grumpy or whatever.
Well,
but
that titty pussy guy, nobody was laughing because it was just a whole bunch of woke people. This was during the COVID when everybody was Zooming, and it was like you must have had 20 people there. I don't know if it was Disney. I don't know. It was like some kind of board meeting with the the communist people, and some guy came in there and he they welcomed this person as a guest, and he wanted to create a character called Titty Pussy, and he acted like this woke, we need to do this and that. He was doing this whole shtick, and he totally punked that. And you could see some of them were getting really pissed off. But that's nerve. I don't have that kind of nerve. Mark Dice does that kind of stuff. He went into a Disney meeting with the what's his name, the president of Disney.
Mark
Bob
Dice,
Iger.
the YouTuber, Mark?
Yeah,
Mark
he's
Dice, plumber.
shown up like with I don't know if he's like in disguise or not, but he's shown up in those like what's his name? What's the guy from
Steven
Disney?
Crowder?
No, the guy from
No.
Disney, the president of Disney.
Oh.
Bob
Was it
Iger.
Bob Iger. Yeah, Bob Iger was there, and it was all and I don't know how he got in, but he started punking them. Mark Dice did. I think Steven Crowder does that kind of stuff too, but
Yeah.
I was surprised to see Mark Dice actually get up and do it.
I thought it was funny. Once I saw Steven Crowder go into Chunk Uger. Remember him from The Young Turds?
Yeah.
He was Chunk Uger, or whatever his name was, at a live question and answer thing, and Steven Crowder comes in acting dressed like him. It was fucking hilarious.
He's funny, but I don't really watch his shows anymore.
Oh, me either. But
There's so
he's
much
funny.
fluff, and he's always like spends $1 million parroting some stupid music video that I've never seen and don't care. And I like Mark Dice because all of his stuff is like under 7 minutes long, and he gets to the point. And he hawks his merchandise at the very end, and that's it.
Mhm.
No ad reads or it's just, and he's funny, and that's all I need.
He's the one that goes, "Oh wait, what's this? What do you mean?" What?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Mark Dice.
And Run Don't
very
Walk is a
very
good
political.
one. That guy's funny and to the point.
Very political.
Yeah.
What other source of comedy is there these days?
Seriously.
That's true.
Well,
Oh,
have
you
guys seen
you
those,
changed it, Neb.
Yeah, I changed
go.
them.
Awesome.
Have you
Change
guys
what?
seen those videos on YouTube where they take like the comment section and they turn them into like a song, and they usually pick the choice like comments, and they it's pretty funny. And I don't know how they do it, but it sounds like the same song over and over. But like they had one with like an autistic girl, and some of them were like, "If she's down, I'm down," and stuff like that. And
Oh,
It's crazy what people are doing. I I used to watch this guy that would give kind of vocal lessons. He was like a professional singer, one of those long-haired guys, and he would, he could tell you that with practice you can hit the high note with practice. You just have to, and he could do it seamlessly. You can go all the way into all the way up without his voice cracking, going up the octaves.
wow.
And people, doesn't matter who you are or what you do, these assholes will troll the comments and you suck or that. And so every once in a while, I don't know, a couple times a year, he will go through all of the trolls that have said, and he'll write them down, and he'll make a rhyme out of it or make some funny thing out of their comment.
yeah, that sounds exactly like what the other people do. Yeah.
It's like, well, you're stupid. He's like, well, at least I'm not Cupid. It would be funnier than that. But I'm just saying, he would have a comeback for everyone, and he'd laugh. It's really funny because he was having fun with everything. It's like kind of like this guy.
It's kind of like Matt Rife. You ever heard of him? He does his comedy and then bounces off the audience the whole thing. It kind of just off the cuff.
Does
Really
he like
good.
throw balls at him and bounce balls off their head and stuff?
You've heard of Matt Rife, haven't you?
No.
Young guy.
I heard that. I liked that one comedian, that one that, hey, yeah, the one that talks like this. Michael McDonald.
Oh,
Got the
from
white
Mad
hair,
TV?
he's like, he talks like this. That like that OJ guy. He made a lot of OJ jokes, and then he got
Norm
fired
Macdonald.
off SNL.
Norm
Well,
Macdonald.
Norm
Mike
Macdonald.
McDonald was that
Oh,
jackass
Norm Macdonald.
from Thingamajig Band.
Doobie
Freaks
Brothers.
Yeah, that band.
He's got his own hate clubs and stuff. That guy.
Because there's a Mike McDonald that was on Mad TV. Michael McDonald, different one.
Oh, nobody
Yeah.
remembers that show.
He did Stu. Oh man, I cracked it. You got to watch the bloopers from that. It's hilarious.
Oh, so watch the bloopers from New Zoo Review.
Oh, those are funny.
Have you seen those, Nev?
Oh.
Write it down.
I didn't
New
even know
Zoo
they posted
Review.
them on YouTube.
New Zoo Review. Dirty bloopers.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Wasn't Steve playing those, or
Do what?
didn't Steve play a lot of those, or?
I did.
Well, it's
I
video.
I think I did. I think but it's better to see the video.
Yeah, you see the video. Those people are they have some behind the scenes bloopers of that show. It's a kids show, and they were not only dirty behind the scenes, but hilarious. Neb would just be right up your. Hey, Fidesco, we've got our African consortium here.
What? What's going on?
Oh, okay. No, I got. Oh, I do have the outtakes and audio from New Zoo Review.
Wait, just get Neb to watch it. You got to watch the frog, grabbing his nads and stuff. You got to see it happen. I once cried when
word of
that.
mouth,
I once
it's-
cried about the New Zoo Review when it ended. Mom's, why are you crying? I said, because it's over. I don't get to see the frog anymore.
I even have the TV theme song to that too. That's weird.
I was given this special moment, and he wasn't even listening.
No, I heard that. You
Pretty
said.
pride too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that means you were being rude then if you heard it and just ignored me.
I heard the violins in the
Oh,
background too.
please. That's what people
Yeah,
do.
but see,
on-
Neb knows. He heard the violins and everything.
I heard the violins.
Yeah.
That's
My
part of the
lips never
shtick
solved
on it.
anything. Yeah.
I get ignored on here all the time. I'm used to it now.
Hey, I've been putting my special ears on. See,
I even
trying
turned
to
my,
listen to my Steve.
I even turned the mic gain up this time and said, I'm getting into these fuckers one way or the other.
Yeah, you get it. Got to get
Yeah,
in.
Steve. That's right.
Fidesco, we were fine. How are you? I guess we're fine. I'm fine, I guess. Lewis said hi. Hi, Lewis.
Hi, Lewis.
Hi, Lewis.
Oh,
Where's Lewis at?
Lewis isn't in chat, but he's my other friend.
Where's the
He's
chat at?
he's best pals with Fidesco. So
Okay.
And of course, Steve's playing his monkey sounds with an
No, I was
inappropriate.
testing volume.
Ah,
I know. It's a good time to do it before the show. Besides, I wouldn't be up there if it wasn't for Specs. I wouldn't have the monkey up there.
where is Specs?
Nice.
I don't care. It was nice seeing him again, but I don't
Yeah.
care. So, Putt, tell us about that thing you did.
That's the name of a movie.
That thing you did.
Huh?
Pornhub.
Hey, what'd you
original
do, Putt?
thing you did.
Well, I went to get my wound cleaned yesterday, and things weren't looking so hot, so they pulled the bandage off and started to mess with it, and all this pus and blood just shot all over the nurse. So I started laughing and just, do it again, and even though it hurt, and she's like, "Ah," and so she put a face shield on, and she put on some gloves and all that, and she did it again, and it went right under her face shield, and I laughed even harder. I was almost ready to fall out of my chair. I just kept laughing and laughing. The next thing I
come
know,
on,
I
man.
see the doctor come in, and he's got this hypodermic needle, and I'm like, "Oh, what are you going to do with that? Put it in the wound?" And he goes, "No, he stuck it in my neck." And I think I woke up 4 hours later, but it
Oh,
was yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool.
I was referring to the Pornhub thing, but
Oh, I didn't do one this week.
okay. That's why he gets
yeah.
so many subscribers to his Neon Wrangler channel.
Yeah, because the
Nice.
Pornhub stuff that's on there.
Oh.
None of the girls wanted to work this week, so I just said, that's fine.
Imagine
Day
that.
off. Day of rest.
What about
They're a
a
fickle bunch.
the Tickle Bunch?
Fickle bunch.
Fickle.
the fickle pickle.
Man, you gonna make me spit all over my fucking computer and shit.
Would the Brady's
Bunch.
have been as popular if they called it that?
Tickle
That's the
pickle.
way we all became the fickle bunch.
How much would a pickle if she had a pickle?
Huh?
Those aren't pickles.
I just came up with that one.
Oh, you're brilliant, baby.
I am. I was a poet, and you actually knew it.
I did. That's news to me.
Now do what I tell you. Bop, make me a sandwich.
Poof, you're a sandwich.
You make your own damn sandwich. I don't.
That's why I married you.
I'd like
No,
to
that's
be a
not why you
sandwich.
married me.
With mayonnaise.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
disgusting, Steve. It all goes down to come to you.
Miracle drip. Or miracle drip, which is not mayonnaise.
That miracle drip.
Yeah.
No, I like mayonnaise and mustard.
So do I.
So I figured I've got apology on X, and I
Yeah.
don't like to post because these content creator people are always saying that somebody was destroyed on it. So and so gets destroyed. I don't want to be destroyed, and I always think that they were shot and blood everywhere, and then it's somebody responded to them on X, and that's what being destroyed means.
Yeah, they come to your door. They're like, "You the motherfucker that posted that video?" Yeah. Kick your ass.
We haven't seen the Wendy's in a long time, Fidesco. One has like a church function, and I mean, honestly, I think she just forgets that we're hours earlier now.
Well,
And
I
she
keep
came
saying-
into the last show right when we were signing off. I mean, we were literally signing off, and here's Wendy.
Yep.
Because everyone knows.
He said, "Good to see new members tonight." That's our friend Nebula Pig, Fidesco.
Yes. Yep.
He's funny.
Yeah, you won't be able to prove that from this video, but
Not from this video, but we later on, Steve will play a couple of his skits skits that he does.
Oh, they're
way back
hilarious.
in the 1920s.
It seems like it's that long ago.
Well, they
Yeah.
were the first silent audio skits.
Yeah, of course.
So when are we gonna do more brilliant garbage
I'm
rangos?
game. I'm just waiting for my wife, my mic to come.
I'm waiting for my wife to
You got a mail
come.
order
Go.
wife too? That's pretty
Your
good.
wife?
Where's she from?
I've been waiting for her to come for years. I don't know how to get that to work.
You ever have the feeling you got ripped off?
Absolutely. I tried to return her, but I didn't save the damn receipt, you know?
Oh.
We were just talking before the show, that one, I'm a long and wobbly bike, that song.
Yeah.
That was the number one song when I was born.
Yeah.
Long and winding road.
Yeah. And it's like,
Oh.
I was telling them that as much as some things don't go my way, at least when I was born, the Osmonds or the Jacksons or the Mungo Jerry didn't have their jizz all over the top, selection in the top 40 when I was born.
I think the number one song when Steve was born was My Ding-a-Ling.
No,
I think it was.
actually, I know what it was. Big Girls Don't Cry was number one when I was born.
Big girls
That's
don't
because they
cry.
saw your big girls don't cry. That's because they saw your dingling.
That's it. Yep.
All right, that's
Could be
the on
really
this that's
stupid.
that's the round robin. Mine was Long and Winding Road. What
Mine
else?
was,
Tony's is
Del
Runaway.
Yeah, Del Shannon's Runaway. Which
Mine
is
was
big.
Girls Don't Cry.
I don't even know
Big
that
Girls Don't
song.
Cry. Big Girls.
Oh, I didn't know
Don't
that's what
Cry.
it was called. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was Big Girls Don't Cry. Okay, so what was yours,
And
Bud?
Buck just looked his up.
Letter by the Box Tops.
Okay,
My
that's
baby
good. That was
sister wrote me a letter.
that's one we all remember. What was yours,
My baby
Neb?
sister wrote me a letter.
I didn't know you'd be talking about songs.
How many
we were
seasons
born.
in
I
the
have no
fucking
fucking
sun?
idea.
All you got to do is goggle your birth date and what song was number one,
Yes,
and AI will
please
come
do.
up with your answer.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I can look it up. What?
But I know it was in 74.
Yeah, which
74.
What's your
I can
birthday
look that up.
and year, and Steve will look it up.
Yeah, I can do it right here. 74.
74.
Yeah, but when's your birthday so we can like steal your identity and your
It
social
was-
security?
Yeah. You want my would you like my bank account number too?
And before you
Sure.
give the answer,
Sure.
Steve, I've got to at least guess.
All right, let me. Okay, I have
What
number.
thing
was
What?
A
Okay, I have
Chipmunk
that open
Christmas
now.
song.
What year?
74.
74.
Okay, what's your birth date?
May the 7th.
Ah,
May the
the 7th will
7th.
be with you.
I'm going to say I can help.
Nope.
Seasons in the Sun.
That's a good.
Nope.
How about
The
Laughter
Streak.
in the Rain?
Nope.
All
The
right.
Streak.
I yell a ribbon around my cock.
What'd you say?
Are
Timmy?
you cheating, Tony? Because he said all 1974 songs, and I don't. I didn't think anybody here knew years of songs except me and Steve.
Did somebody say the streak?
Tony did.
Yeah.
That was the
It was
week after
probably-
he was born.
Oh,
It was probably some Zeppelin song.
No, they
Nope.
didn't have number one songs. They were an album band.
yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Grand Funk Locomotion.
Boy, you
Oh,
got
cover,
you got
yeah.
gypped, Neb. That's a cover song. It's not, that didn't even really.
You know,
At least it was.
See, he
Really
should have
bad.
been. He should have been born a couple of weeks later. He could have had the streak.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I blame my mom and dad for having sex. Like,
They should have waited to have sex.
Timmy, 74 was just such a weird year. I mean, you had Seasons of the Sun, which, caused many suicides, and The Streak, which also did, and like 500 other weird ass things going on, and fucking Evel Knievel with his rocket bike trying to jump some canyon, which he didn't even get close to jumping. And it was just a crazy year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course, it was the year I turned 13, so I guess that's kind of crazy for everybody, that
Yeah,
phase
I
of
guess
life.
so.
I was
was the
4
snake.
that year.
Snake River Canyon. Yeah.
Yep.
I had the Evil Knievel crash car.
That was every car he ever had was a crash car.
Yeah, that's. I was kind of thinking, isn't it kind of an insult? I mean, I know he made royalties off that stuff, but it's like, he's like, you know what? I wasn't ever supposed to crash any of the stuff. Of course, I didn't think Evil Knievel even had a car. I thought it was all motorcycle, except that rocket.
Yeah, no, it was basically, yeah.
Uh,
But I just hope he made as much money off of that stuff as Super Dave Osborne did years later.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Well,
remember
I had
Super
the-
Dave. He was kind of funny.
He was very funny.
he flew feet. He
Yeah.
had did one stunt too many.
Did he?
Yeah.
That's from a stunt?
No, I'm just.
No.
He did
Oh.
floofy though.
He did flew for
Yeah, he
you.
did die. He was on Norm Macdonald's very first show when Norm set out and opened his first show. And you guys got to look it up on YouTube if you want to just wet your pants laughing, because what they do to Super Dave is so damn funny. But I had the Evil Knievel Easy Bake Oven.
Boy, his name was on everything. That's
Yeah,
me in
franchise
1970. That's me in 74.
Ah,
Nice.
But you're the one on the right.
Yeah, I'm the blonde one.
Well, they're all blonde, looks like.
Only one kid's actually got a towhead.
Aren't you all adorable?
Yeah, that's back when we didn't kick the shit out of each other all the time.
So what happened to you? Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I gotta ask the same. What happened to me? I was a good-looking kid too. Look at this crap now.
You're a hunk of funk of fuck.
what?
Hunk of
Huh?
fuck.
Hunk of fuck. Is that what you said? Hunk of fuck?
Sort of.
That's a new
I didn't mean it to
password.
come out that way.
Band? Was that a band, Uncle Fucker?
Uncle fucker?
No, it was Uncle Cracker.
Oh.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
But there's a song from the South Park movie called Uncle Fucker,
Good
and it
classic.
is hilarious. Darren played it for me, and I literally was crying. I was laughing so hard.
Uncle fucker. That's funny.
Yep.
Great song. Mark's not wrong. I mean, Nia,
Hmm.
it's not wrong.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
call me Mark.
No,
I don't want to.
Everything is
So,
Yeah.
um,
You are-
so,
Okay.
Yeah, poor
Okay.
trigger discipline in that.
you okay?
oh goodness, he's gonna kill somebody. It's like you got a knife in your hand.
Nope.
Go on.
Yeah.
Well,
Like I
you
said,
weren't
the
you
poor
weren't holding it
trigger
sideways like you usually do. You know, doing the
Mhm.
gangsta thing.
And that's what a fat kid looked like in 1966.
I was about to
or
say, just call me fat one more time. I'll give you a second belly button.
whatever.
Uh,
All right. I was showing. Oh, that you're a cute kid, Tony.
God,
But no, it's just that's the how things have changed.
You think you were
Back
fat?
then, that was a fat kid.
Oh, please.
Seriously,
Good.
I was the fattest kid in my class.
Yeah, this is a good-looking guy right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Wasn't I a dish?
You were doing loan sharking back then, weren't you?
Must have
Yeah.
been. Wasn't I?
I said,
wasn't I
doesn't he look
hot-looking?
like Greg Brady?
Nah.
You look familiar though.
Nope. He looks like Steve-O Two Guns.
Yeah.
You know.
That's when I had hair and.
Like, no, I want to say Jim Carrey
Kind of. Yeah.
maybe.
like,
Yeah.
impersonating somebody like Andy Kaufman, like Jim Carrey impersonating Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my high school senior picture.
Nice.
You look
I don't
gorgeous,
have
Steve.
I was a dish. Yeah. We were all good-looking kids. What the fuck happened to us? Gee.
Hey, there's me when I was Evil Knievel.
Oh, weren't
yeah.
you, darling?
That was my dad's favorite picture of me, and I still remember doing it. I wanted to be a motorcycle guy, and I was like, got my jacket, and I was asking, you know, give me some gloves and a helmet, and my dad gave me the sunglasses, and he just loved it. But I remember rounding this stuff up. Boy, I was so stupid.
Oh, look at that. Cute.
Almost looked like Ralphie there.
Yeah.
Well, that's 1966. So I would have been 5.
yeah.
That
And
is
gets
a
me.
saw, a real saw that cut wood made out of steel, a little kid
Yeah.
kid's
It was
size
the.
saw.
It just
GI
gets me that you think you were fat. It just gets me. It just cracks me up. That's
I
not.
was. I literally was the fattest kid because everybody back then looked like toothpicks.
Yep.
It was the
Wow.
60s.
That's
They
the
hadn't
G.I.
started
Joe.
filling us
That's
with
the
slop
G.I.
yet.
Joe.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Joe.
That's the G.I. Joe dismemberment saw with real serrated action.
Yeah. I was 5. Yeah, but my parents saw no problem giving me a tool set. They had a saw and a drill and a hammer, and it had a chisel. The chisel was the only thing my dad didn't let me have.
Because he
why.
knew that you would go and chisel the nameplate off that scout truck.
And
Now, see, you can tell when I moved to Colorado because I was so happy in the Kansas City pictures, and then I never smiled again.
Happy again.
I have a picture that's in my mom's photos. I gotta find out. My mom, dipstick she was. Oh, hell. I'm 5 years old, just got up from a nap. I'm in a t-shirt and underwear eating a cookie, and she took my picture.
Of course, that's what they do.
I'm surprised
At least
that's not
I
your
had-
profile picture.
Yeah, at least you didn't put it on the ground that time.
You should recreate that like the people do. You know, they take pictures later when they're
Oh,
older.
yeah, there you go. Recreated.
Look at Steve in his underwear eating a cookie.
Oh, no, that'd be scary. Oh, my God.
That's my dog Cookie there in the pajamas.
You got a dog named Cookie?
Cookie.
Steve was
Let me
eating
see if I
cookie.
can. Let's see if I can make the picture bigger so you can see Cookie. Let me see.
Because I had a cat named Cookie.
Cookie cat.
Cookie
You know
cat.
what?
He
It
puts-
kind of crops the pictures as soon as you can't like uncrop them.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Nebs and Mark, where are your guys' child pictures?
I don't have any.
You don't have any?
I don't know where they are.
Gottschalk got most of my like high school pictures and shit. I don't have any of them.
Oh.
Ever since I went into the witness relocation program, I'm not allowed to show those kind of things.
All right, here's a better picture of Cookie. Let's see. There we go.
There we go. Oh, cute puppy.
She was my first dog.
Look at that. The dog's cuter than you were. What's the matter with it? What happened?
Oh, she was adorable, and she never. I heard we had her 13 years, and I only heard her bark once.
Hmm.
Wow.
She was so sweet. She was like Aunt Jemima.
Wow.
The shirt she's wearing, is that like Spider-Man or Hulk?
It's so. I don't
They
know.
had-
Yeah, it is Hulk. Yeah, it's a Hulk.
Wait, the dog's got clothes on? Or I can't
What do you think that she's actually got a Hulk tattoo on her,
I
Steve?
don't know what you guys.
I
I still
didn't
see
see.
the puffer jacket picture.
Do what?
I still see the puffer jacket picture, the helmet picture.
Really?
I see the one with the dog and
I
a
see
little
the
boy.
dog,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, let me
It's the
go
first
over and
time
look
we're
at
better than
the
Tony.
Thingamabob.
Was
Now
that in
that's
Kansas City?
weird. I see the old picture on Zoom, and I see the new picture on Thingamabob on YouTube.
No, it was right after we moved to Colorado, Steve, because you can tell I'm not smiling.
Oh, okay.
I stopped smiling after we moved to fucking Colorado.
Lost your smile.
Maybe that's why I smile more now. I'm not in Kansas City anymore.
You loved Kansas City,
To a degree.
and you hated Florida, but here you
At
always
first I
bounce.
hated
You always bounce back to. Okay, so I've talked to you a bunch of times about my surrogate Aunt Helen.
Mhm.
That is so. Weird.
So that's her, and that's me. Well, let me see.
What are you zipping your pants in there or what?
No, I'm.
Looks like it. Or it looks like you're flipping something out there.
I know. It was a little like Mexican statue, and I like put my legs and like had it like that, where I was.
This looks like your aunt saying, "Now, Timmy, we don't take peas there. Don't take a pea there."
She got a kick out of it, whatever I was doing. Anyway.
But it just looks like first image you see is like, well, what's he trying to whip out there?
Well, no, I
do
didn't actually have it. I was doing like a Jim Morrison where I had my thumb out my zipper kind of thing, but it was like a statue doing it.
Oh, you were trying because Jim Morrison revealed himself.
Yeah, I wanted to be Jim Morrison when I was 6. That was
You stick out the real thing is what you got to do then. Be just like you. Can't just stick out your thumb. What the hell?
Can.
Hi,
It's hard.
Fidesco. He says good. Oh, we're
You
going
can
way
cut
back.
that out, Steve.
Sorry, Steve. What were you saying about your thumb?
Up your
Yeah.
rear end.
Yeah, Steve. You're...
We'll do the kid photos when there's actually when there's people in chat.
Yeah,
then you'll never see him.
Because Fidesco's seen him already because he's on Facebook.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there's a brand new 64 Scout.
How come it looks like it's 40 years old in the picture?
Brand new.
Oh, the car behind you guys? Oh, that's cool.
It's like it looks all faded and stuff.
Bullshit.
The style.
Yeah, it
back
does
then.
kinda look-
It's a weirdo.
It's all brown.
Well,
It's
now
supposed to be brown. It was like a root beer color with a white top.
it does kind of look old. I know. Papa Cass. Okay, go ahead and say it.
It's got like a checker cab bumper on the front of it.
Yep, that's what they did. They didn't have glam truck. They didn't have like $90,000 F-250s back then.
Hey, Putt.
Yeah. I'm listening.
Not
You look
looking
like
at-
you look like you're zoning. You look like you were zoning out. I'm like, gotta wake.
We got our first moment here.
Yeah.
We had a few the first time you were here, Nab. We had a few moments that are on the timeline.
Yeah, we're waiting.
Remember when I used
What,
to
you
get in
want
trouble
another
for?
one?
Yeah.
Well,
Remember when I used to
Godstock,
get-
he didn't even like the last Wrong Channel Precious Moments I put on Facebook.
Wrong channel or this one?
Same difference.
No, wrong channel's funnier.
It is.
It is.
Have you've been on a Wrong Channel? Yeah, but you were like Dell. You were our first Dell.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you were the-
like a,
you were the first Dale.
madman. That was so funny.
Yeah, it was
wow.
funny.
I probably lost that recording. That'd be funny to find.
I've got it. I played it on a Fun Hour before.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah, I
You
do
just
actually
went-
play our best Wrong Channel moments on our Fun Hour. But then we haven't done. We haven't done a Wrong Channel since 2021.
Oh, here
we did
go.
a Halloween special.
Yeah, that wasn't so good.
We've never had a good Halloween show ever.
I know we have a hard time with those for some reason. You think they'd be easy?
They're not. They always suck. Everyone we've
Now, the
ever
one
done.
I liked the best, though, we were in a theater. I remember that we were in a theater and it was a haunted theater.
That was this.
I like
That wasn't
that one.
good. It was just another
was
one.
okay.
It was okay. It was
Yeah, it was
okay.
okay.
It wasn't a theater.
Alright.
We were at
The
we were
airport
in
one,
the
huh?
auditorium at our Glom building.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but the one I remember the talent show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that
Tony
wasn't
was the
Halloween.
funny-
I actually had that in Fun
Yeah,
Hour
I got that.
21, the last Fun Hour that's come out. It's actually I played that.
Yeah, I have that one.
But we did a Halloween one that was at the airport.
That was
Yeah, I got
probably
that.
the best one.
I got that idea because I saw a movie called Warm Bodies, and the zombies were at a deserted airport, and that's where I got the idea.
It was pretty good. And then Hoodoo made a cameo, and Terry asked if he could come back and be part of the show. Or I asked something of Hoodoo, and said, I'd rather slam my dick in a car door, and all of a sudden you hear this slam and and like the audience laughs like a canned laughter. That was
didn't I
one of the
say that?
funniest things.
Voodoo said that, or rather slam my dick in a car door.
Yeah, I'd rather slam my dick in a car, and then all of a sudden you hear slam, and then you like put in the canned laughter. That was perfect.
Oh yeah.
We
Oh,
did a
those were-
strategic in the last page. I don't know if any of you have seen the movie. Tony has, I know. The last page of Summer movie. Tracy fell through the pipe in the roof and ended up in the fireplace all what do you call it, charcoal colored, and coughing up smoke. And there was it was a laugh track where everybody was laughing. She's like, "Huh? Look!" And it was the TV was on, and it was just like, I like being funny, but I liked being somewhat grounded. If that makes any sense. I think it gives a new kind of a different aspect to the comedy. You dig what I'm saying? You dig what I'm laying down? Huh?
I dig the tracks you're laying down, brother.
Hey, it's Steve Arini after eating an artichoke.
How's that for a topic?
Pretty good. You look just like him, Steve.
Yeah.
Okay, so he screwed
Guys
up by
changing all
not
your-
having the makeup go below his collar. I know that would rub off on his white
Yeah.
collar,
Yeah.
but they should have had a green collar on him and made the makeup. On TV you can't really. They should have photoshopped color matched that a little better on Photoshop, but they didn't have Photoshop in 1971.
On the TV show, you couldn't see that though.
Well, that's what I was about to say. On the TV show, you couldn't really tell.
Yeah.
That's his
Well,
glamour
everything
shot.
else is made out of friggin' terry cloth, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, nobody gave a shit then. They just were. It was a
They
bunch
did.
Of kids.
They were supposed to be hat people, and they just looked like globs of cloth. My mom, when we were poor, and she'd go to the laundromat, she would take all her clothes and put them in a sheet and just tie the sheet into this big ball and tie it and take it. And that's kind of what all the hats on Lidsville looked like. So did Star Trek, you know.
Mhm.
Jabba the Hutt on Star Trek, he looked like one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jabba the Hutt on Star Trek. Okay.
I remember.
Hey
that.
Nebs, did you see me beam in yet? I
Any
think I
what?
showed you. Did I show you that beaming in?
Probably.
No, I didn't see the beaming in.
Here,
Show
I'm
me
gonna
the
beam in right now. Here we go. Energize.
Okay. Let's see. Whoa.
Isn't that
Cool
cool?
sound
What does
effect,
that mean
though. Are
to
you supposed to,
beamy
like,
men?
Yeah.
Beam me in.
Oh, I thought you said beamy men.
Beaming men.
beam
That,
in?
that was that George Harrison song, right? Be me man, be me man.
Oh yeah.
What is that? I don't know that one.
I mean mine.
Oh, well, that's a Beatles song.
Yeah, it's George Harrison now.
Well, I know it's George
I thought-
Harrison, but I was automatically thinking My Sweet Lord and stuff, you know, that was actually his brand. I think I Me Mine was the last Beatles song to be worked on.
Yeah.
And that was like I guess the spring of 70, they were still working on that damn song. And it was basically a song about how all the other Beatles sucked. I think the I Me Mine was like toward them.
Yeah.
Steve, I don't know, were you here or Punt? I made a story. I didn't make a story, but I was saying something like last week about when George Martin met the Beatles the first time.
No, you mentioned. I remember this. You telling a story about something like that.
Because I was
but
going to
don't
repeat
remember.
it, but I didn't know if everybody's been here and's heard it. I don't want to say it again.
Is it the one where he told him to?
You don't give the punchline.
Well, no, I'm going to give the punchline because I'm trying to figure out if I heard it.
Well, it doesn't matter if there's other guys here that haven't heard it. I'll say it again because I've got nothing else.
Okay.
So a lot of people didn't want to go anywhere near the Beatles. They were like a hot potato. Nobody wanted to sign them. They were raunchy. They smelled, you know, they smoked and cussed and bled on stage, and they were nasty.
Nice.
Yeah, they were really nasty people, and somehow they ended up at the studio where George Martin worked, and George Martin was kind of being blackmailed because he had an affair with a secretary or something, so they made him handle the Beatles as kind of a punishment. And so he took one look at him, and he told his assistant, "You can handle this," and he just went to the cafeteria. So the assistant started working with him, and I guess he was pretty impressed by their originality, and he went back into the cafeteria and got George Martin and said, "Hey, you know, George, I think you should see this." So he comes back, and they do two or three of their songs, and he's watching them. And at the end, he says, "Okay, first of all, your equipment is shit. Second of all, this and that sucks." And he just started tearing them a new one. And he ranted and raved and this and that. And he says, "Okay, I've given you guys a pretty hard time. Is there anything about me that you've got a problem with?" And there was a little bit of silence, and Ringo goes, "Well, I don't like your tie." And they won him over right then when he said that. It was I love rock and roll stories.
Together, I think was the best thing that happened to either one of them.
It was a match made in heaven, wasn't it? Now I did the guy with EMI, or the guy that there was one guy that famously turned down the Beatles in favor of like the Searchers or something. They basically, I think, I don't know, I think there's more than one, but one of them, the big boss said you can only choose one or the other, and he really wanted both, but he chose the Searchers because they just looked a little more, I don't know, handsome or radio ready. But there was one guy that was famously like passed them up, and he goes down in history as the guy that turned down the Beatles. And from what I understand, later on he approached George and kind of sheepishly said, "Hey, can you recommend a band that maybe we can sign?" And he did, and he recommended the Rolling Stones. So it wasn't all for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, Decca made out fine. They got the Stones. They made out just fine.
But it was interesting that like George pointed them to the Stones. I thought that was kind of. I love rock and roll stories. I just wish I was part of one. I wish I was one, but you know that's okay. I've got
And
a
that's
rock and
fair
roll
enough,
app.
dude. We'd love to have like rock and rollers on here, but all the ones we like are dead or 90 years old.
I wouldn't mind having a
Oh, no.
90-year-old one. Steve, are you hearting us? Are you loving us? Hey, so anyway, speaking
Have a
of
heart on.
Apology None and rock and roll, I changed my cover photo on Facebook and used one of the backdrops for one of the lyric sheets on the Hideaway album.
Hmm.
And it's okay. It's not a big deal.
So
I want to see it, but I gotta
eventually
go on
saw it.
Facebook.
It's Facebook. You know, what are you going to do? They show me, you know, oh, here's this event from 3 weeks ago. So, gee, that's nice.
Well, I said it in Steve's chat this morning, and nobody
Mhm.
said it. They were like showing pictures of their butt cracks with their cheeks spread out and stuff. And I'm just like, and finally, a little bit later, I posted it again. I'm like, now I'm being tacky. I'm posting it again, and still nobody did it. And they were talking about cum sandwiches and everything else.
Well, I hope they had
I saw the
mail on
butt
them.
crack.
Oh, gross! Of course, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, geez.
If you get too much of that, you got to go to the Mayo Clinic and have it extracted out.
Yep.
Like Rod Stewart. I don't think that really happened to Rod Stewart because they actually had that urban myth about like every kind of gay looking guy from the 70s that was a singer, pop singer, like
Mhm.
David Bowie, Mick Jagger.
Or what's his name? Richard Gere and the Squirrel, or whatever the hell that was.
I heard Sylvester Stallone started that rumor because they were on that Lords of Flatbush together, and they had like they hated each other, and then he started that rumor. That was, I mean, it would be cool to have Richard Gere's money, but that would kind of suck that everybody in the world thinks that you put a gopher up your butt crack.
Huh?
Yep.
Oh, now we got his attention.
No, I think he was talking to me. I'm sorry.
Well, you can
Actually,
still.
that would suck if you had Richard Gere's money because then he'd probably call the cops and get your ass arrested. You know.
Hey, did you ever? Have you ever had a gerbil?
No.
Nope.
It wasn't until a couple years ago when I was looking through one of my children's encyclopedias that I actually saw the difference between a gerbil and a hamster.
Difference.
Really, what's the
Because a
difference?
hamster kind of looks like a weeble wobble. They kind of stand up on their hind legs and they're fat, kind of like Steve. And
Huh?
I was just seeing if you're listening.
I'm here.
They almost look like a person in a fat suit, a furry.
Yeah.
But a gerbil looks more like it looks a little more animal like a rat. It's more like all fours and has almost kind of jackrabbit back legs, and a smaller tail. It's not like it doesn't have a rat tail, but it looks more like an animal than a cute little plush toy thing.
Oh, miniature Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, I go.
I think he looks like Balooey some.
Happened to
Hey, can you say some people? That's cheek to cheek.
He
I try to watch
can't
it.
hear you now. Now say it.
Hey, say some people dance cheek to cheek. Can you sing that?
Can you sing that? Some people dance cheek to cheek.
Chica, chica.
That was cheek to cheek. That was more like a not Susie Quattro. Who was the Chica Chica woman
Oh, who was
that
that?
played flamenco guitar?
Oh yeah, thing.
Coochie Coochie.
Oh, that was
Charo, yeah.
Gucci.
Did she just pass away?
No,
Not that she was still around.
Oh,
Well, it's not
good.
jinx.
I don't
We
want
did
to
that-
jinx her. I'm sorry. I don't want to jinx her. It's
We
like,
did that
I
before
thought that
the
George
fire.
Thorogood had passed away, and I was so glad when one of you said that he was still around. I don't want to jinx people, but do you ever hear like you think in your mind that somebody had passed away and they haven't, and it's like, oh, they're
I know.
here.
Well, I've been out of the loop so long that all these people passed away in the last year. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know they died.
It's a good thing you weren't
There's
out of the
nothing-
loop in 2016, where like half the rock and roll community flew feet and
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than posting happy birthday on somebody's Facebook page who's
Oh,
been
I
dead
know.
for like 10 years and
Oh,
you didn't fucking know it.
oh, I love that. You get the birthday, and I always look at it now that one, and you look down, and they haven't. Sometimes they don't. There's no notice or anything. It's just you notice they've never liked any birthday message in the last 12
Yeah.
years.
And that's what I worry about on the morning show is I'll do birthdays every day and I always look up and make sure they're still alive.
Hey, it's a good
Because that
thing.
happened once.
because that
Yeah.
makes like, well, I mean, heaven is a good thing about floofing, but beside that, people will still wish you a happy birthday no matter what, even if you
Yeah.
floofied. That's a good thing.
Well, you guys will know I'm dead when I stop posting because I'm not going to send out any notifications.
You know
Oh,
what?
no,
You
no.
know what? You do that anyway. We're always like, is he floopied? We thought the
Ned,
God's talking.
Isn't it true that literally 50% of the people we knew from Video Ranch are dead now?
Wow.
That's probably true.
Is Mickey Dolan still around? I don't want to.
He's the last one.
Last one. Okay.
He's the last one.
I don't want to.
Neb used to hang out
If
at
you go to
Video
a
Ranch.
Monkeys concert, it's just him sitting in a chair.
Did you ever talk to the monkey guy, Neb?
No, Nesmith? Nah.
I was there
I didn't talk
once.
to any of
It
them.
must have been one of the last times because you were the Smurf, right?
Yeah.
And I was.
Oh, yeah, I was a little blue.
Yeah, you were a little blue guy, and I was a big blue guy, and it wasn't. I didn't even know you did it. I wasn't copying you. What happened is, I was trying to find a color for me, and you know how I am. I like kind of like the body paint and this and that. So I wanted to be. I was thinking of green. I'm like, no, people will think I'm trying to be a skinny Hulk, and I went for blue, and it wasn't until later I'm like, oh, I didn't know Neb was blue. I feel like I'm in Jim Croceing on him, and so what happened is, oh, that's pretty cool, Putt.
Oh,
Thank
wow,
you.
that was weird.
It's a nice filter.
Oh wow.
Not a filter.
Leslie,
That's how I
look,
really
this looks like Leslie Nielsen.
Everyone with the facial recognition, so it can't find him.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh.
You kind of look like Lou Reed in 1974 when he was doing.
Skeletor.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Lou Reed at his healthiest.
Yeah.
You're looking better there, Putt. No.
Thank you.
Pretty good, Putt.
Nice. Thank you. Jen got this for me. She
Thank
said not
you.
to give you any hints or anything, but I took out life insurance on you. And then she handed me this mask and said, put it on.
Oh.
That's pretty cool.
I said, what's the mask for? She goes, well, you'll find out eventually.
You know, I wish I'd had a wife. You know, if Gracie was like that, we'd probably still be together.
Yeah.
Oh, Jen's
come
one
to-
kind.
How come the jaws don't move though?
It kind of does. See?
Oh, it does.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
there
what-
we go.
We
Okay.
do move.
Crocagator.
I wish I could get the Crocagator to work.
Timmy and I, we got nothing. We're going to end up with Gene Hackman just lying on the floor for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Can I try to beam in again? See if it works.
Try to beam in, man.
Let's see if it works.
Oh, nice. There you
There
I
you
didn't-
go.
never mind.
Beautiful.
Good job, Steve.
I didn't get to see it. Never
We
mind.
could hear
we
your
saw it. It
beam
was
this
good.
time.
We heard the music too.
Oh, cool.
See, Gene Hackman, I wasn't a fan, but Salty played a clip of him a day or two ago. He was being interviewed, and he asked about because his dad had left when he was young, and he says, "Oh, so what happened?" He says, "Well, he just left, and then he was driving his car, and he passed us and waved, and he started choking up. It was hard for him to tell the story without crying, and it's like, well, shit, he is a human being."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Salty kind of played it to kind of show people that dads are important. That this guy it literally happened 65 years ago, and he was telling the story and still choked up about it, and that was kind of his thing. Anyway, what was I talking about before Putt did the skull mask? I was talking about something.
You're talking about my
the
skull
Video
mask.
Ranch, dude.
Video Ranch,
Video
right,
Being
right.
blue.
Okay,
Yeah, being blue.
so I was the blue guy, but a different. I don't think we were ever in the ranch together.
We were once, but you had trouble with it. And I do remember one time that Nesmith did say something to me. I was in the ranch by myself and I was just dancing. And he shows up and he's like, could you get out of my way? I was like, what? Like, I'm trying to look at something. And you're in my way dancing. I was like, oh, okay. So I moved over there and that was it.
Well, at least you. That's kind of sucks.
Yeah. Could have at least danced with you a little bit.
Yeah, I should have danced a little bit with you. No, mine was.
Sorry.
So they suddenly changed the rules where you couldn't be a different color anymore. You had to be a human color. So Tony's the guy that would go out into the back and dress me, and not in a perverted way, but he knew the shop, how to do things. And we were trying to find a color. So Terry, he's got that sun-kissed look. I was trying to be Terry, so I got this tan. I'm walking out there, and it was so saturated. It didn't look right. And I'm like, it's like, Tony, can we go back and change my color again? I look really weird. And Nesmus said, oh, I kind of like your color. You remind me of a pizza. So that's my one encounter with a monkey. That was it. That one line. So that's something.
Yeah.
And he was always kind of my least favorite monkey. So I'm glad that at least I got that. So now he's my favorite monkey because the other fucks wouldn't even have anything to do with me. Even Nolan's, when I was in there in his, I shouldn't have called him Nolan's, that's probably why, but I was in the QA as my Draconian, my dragon costume, and there was only like 30 people in that little room. And I was in there that whole time with him, and I just wanted to kill him because I was a dragon, and that's what dragons do.
What happened?
Yeah.
What did he do to you?
I will be right back.
Now, you know what?
That
Halloween
monkey
Putt
duty,
doesn't
man.
wear anything. I mean, he wears...
Uh-oh.
How do you guys change that background? That's pretty cool.
Exploded.
Oh, you go to your three little dots, like you change your name, and
Right.
go to edit profile picture, and you can just upload one right there. Which I
You
think
need
is an
the video
improvement
to be on your
because
computer?
before you had to actually like log into the Zoom internet page, like on your
Right.
browser to do it, and now you don't have to do that. So that's a pretty good. Normally they just do improvements. Programs do make things worse, like Facebook. They never actually made things better, have they? Since like 2013, it's just always
Really, I think they were
Well,
the
that's not
best
their
when they were
job. Their job is
MySpace,
to
you
make
know?
things worse.
huh? When people talk at the same time on this, it's all you hear is static.
I was waiting for Tony to say his thing.
Oh, I forgot my thing.
Go for it,
But
Ned.
no, that's Facebook. That's their job, is to make things worse. They got
Oh
a whole
yeah,
building.
that's their motto.
We make life worse.
Nice.
No, Mickey Dolenz was at a concert. It was Nez singing with a band called the something Family Project or whatever, and it was like his first like public appearance in a long time. And Dolenz he wasn't on stage, but just as in support of him. And I heard his voice saying, "Oh, nice hat," and that was this hat.
So you have
So
an
that was my
encounter,
only
a close. You had a
interaction with
close
him.
encounter.
Yeah.
So I wanted to
That's
have
Mickey's go-to hat.
a jingle that was going to be playing on the TV in the film, but I decided against it because just for time. But I thought it would be hilarious just to have a commercial. It's like Clark Retail, we never have what you're looking for. You know, the chorus of people like they do it. But maybe we'll make it. Maybe we'll make a brilliant. We'll make a brilliant garbage that's got like a bunch of little commercials we can make up.
Commercials, jingles. Oh, that'd be great, dude.
Because remember we were going to make a commercial about walls.
Oh yeah,
Walls.
forgot about that.
That was actually going to be on the last page of summer, wasn't it? And
Ah, shit, man, that was like 40 years ago.
it seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Tires, put them on cars. I remember we did a whole bunch of shit like that.
There we go. And they're round.
Yeah.
Your only outlet for round tires right here.
This
Tire
PBS show was
paradise.
brought to you by Tires.
What's your car move?
Yeah, they look like donuts, but they help your car move.
And
From the
Archer
donut
Daniels
store.
Midland, we make fake beans that will eventually give you cancer. But
No, I'm gonna do a commercial. I'm gonna do a commercial about a store that only sells 10mm sockets. That's all they got.
you'd probably make a lot of money with that.
I probably would.
Socket City,
Socket
we sell
Depot.
sockets. That's all. As long as they're 10 minute, 10 minute. Could you imagine getting Mel Tillis to make a song called 10 millimeter?
Yeah.
I know he doesn't stutter when he sings, but you could make him. I bet that's what people did, is try to get him song lyrics that would make him stutter while he sang.
I wonder if he ever did like any audiobooks. That would have been great.
That would have been good.
Hey, Mel Tillis, can you sing Blue Christmas for us?
Yeah.
I'll have a. Sorry. Steve said he's out. He's pooping and watching.
Yeah.
Pooping and watching.
Pooping and stooping and snapping and clapping and
Some
that
serious shit.
damn song.
You do it like
You want a
this.
stupid, Steve? If you're listening, stupid song of the week is that friggin' the chick singing fishing and hoping.
It's Dusty Springfield. Oh,
yeah.
And kick him and thump him and slap him.
And stab them.
I got kinky fast.
Well, but you kind of went a little far with that one. Goodness, this is supposed to be sexual.
I like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Some people like being stabbed, I guess.
Some do.
Yeah.
And some don't until it happens, and then they just seem to, take a restful sleep afterwards.
Steve says, "I heard that." You know what? I've said this before. I think it was been like Wrong Channel Vintage. And you can probably find this guy on YouTube. There was a sick guy in the 60s. He looked like Drew Carey with the glasses. Nerdy guy. Well, he had a dorm mate. And so the guy that looked like Drew Carey with the glasses, the nerdy guy, he's very soft-spoken, quiet. But in his dreams, when he'd start talking in his sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And so his roommate started recording him. Like this reel-to-reel thing. He put a mic up there and... So he actually shared the record. It made it into a record album. So the guy is sleeping, and this is from the best of my memory. He'd be like, "Brown the banana, brown the banana, coat it lightly with sugar. Good, good. Now bend over and ram it up your ass."
Sounds like something Tony wrote.
This guy was talking in his sleep, and it's just like it'd be like having rooming with Porky Pig, who's so straight laced, and he ram it up your ass. It's just like
You thought I was going to say bitch, didn't you?
yeah. Now see, when we do, I've already said that.
How's that feel better?
Tony and his banana references. Damn.
Yeah.
You just try to slip your banana into all our skits, don't you, Tony?
So I think if you go to Google, because they got the AI, just type in "bend over and ram it up your ass" and see if that 60s recording of the guy sleep talking will come up.
All right, just make sure safe search. I remember I forgot, and I was searching on something, and it was just wieners wall to wall. It's like, no. Because unlike you guys, I don't actually like looking at those things.
Yeah, but you like looking at Ford Pintos.
Yeah, Steve's got quite a collection, but I don't care for him.
I sometimes see what people look at some of my deviant art, like my mud pictures and stuff, to see what their other stuff they're favoriting. And everyone, I'd say 99% of the time, it's cartoon women in the mud, like people drawing cartoon women with big boobies in the mud. And then there's me. It's like, and then I would say about 2%, it's just dicks. It's like, oh shit, get away from me. And I look at Steve's page. It's like, oh, it's just his.
Yeah, it's just Steve. Oh, overwhelming deviant art with his drawings and his commissions and all that kind of stuff.
That's what I do.
Yeah, well, stop drawing bananas and dicks and stuff.
I don't draw not very often.
Well, there you are.
Just pickles. I draw a lot of pickles.
What was I going to say? Jen talks in her sleep a lot. The other night she woke me up. She goes, "Hey," and I'm like, "What?" And she goes, "He's trying to take your money." I'm like, "What the hell?" I don't know what she was dreaming, but
I don't know. Women are conniving. I'll never forget. It was in the middle of the night, and I was asleep, and Gracie starts talking to me. And she starts, and I've got some half asleep at first, and then she keeps talking, and I'm no longer asleep now. I'm just but I'm still putting on kind of like yeah. And she's like, she's been wanting something that I wouldn't do because she's always wanting these high dollar things and this and that and the other. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, honey, will you give me this thing? Will you buy this? I'm like, the hell are you trying to work on me when I'm asleep, trying to take advantage of me? She never did that again.
I'm back. I was looking at a lot of dick pics.
Yeah.
Oh, that's normal.
Yeah.
Thought you were pooping.
I heard him say that too. That's not what I said in the
So one of my uncles, he was an Indian, total Indian, and not like the 7-Eleven Indian, but like the me,
Yeah, not a
Meat
dot.
man
me
Indian.
don't put them on tights, that kind of Indian.
Kimosabi.
I'll just never forget. I was at the homestead there, and we're all standing outside, and everything, and we got some relatives there, and we're like, no, where's Dad? He's like, oh, he's in there pooping. Just picture an Indian saying that was my uncle. I miss having a family.
Mm-hmm.
You can have mine.
I don't want to use family. Thanks. Thanks anyway.
Well, go make your own.
Yeah, you're young.
I got to thinking, the president has got a son who's like 20 years old now, and the president's like 78, 79. That means he like had a kid in his late 50s. If he can do it, then I can do it, couldn't I? If I just meet the right person.
Yeah, you need to find the Melania type.
Oh, wait a second. Hi, Phil. We got a Phil here.
I've been talking to Phil.
That's why I moved you over, because he didn't like the way you were facing. But I think most of us said, I don't know, doesn't matter. But
I'll be right back, or I'll go. I'm gonna pee in my
go.
pants. I'll be right back.
Your turn to poop.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my
Describe
god!
it.
You know,
Do it.
you know what we talked about when you're dreaming, how your mind or your body or God, that He puts in here this thing, this block that keeps you from peeing the bed. Basically, none of the urinals you go to or none of the places you go to work, and it keeps you from peeing when you got to pee really bad, and you finally wake up. What's worse is when you got to go number 2, and it's like every stall has got no privacy. There's no walls, and there's a million people around, or it's so gross. It's like it's never been scrubbed. It makes the one in the Mamas and Papas album look like it's like right out of, brand new out of the box.
That Facebook, and apparently that album cover, they re-released it with some kind of like just a logo over where the toilet was.
I thought they put a sticker saying with the tracks this and that over the saran wrap.
Yeah. I don't know if it was over the saran wrap or over the thing.
Oh, that would suck if it was over the cardboard, because then you're facing the
It was
album.
like the Beatles one with the baby dolls and meat, that they actually just made a different cover and stuck it over.
Yeah, they glued it. I wonder how many kids like pulled this thing off and were like, ah! Everybody knows what we're talking about with the disembodied dolls with the blood and the meats all over them.
Butcher
cover. Well, I guess the good news is they borrowed the meat from the butcher and gave it back. But would you want to eat meat that was like on a beetle?
No.
Really?
Okay, I'll be
I
back.
think I'm not into.
I just got an idea for another parody.
What's that?
Steve?
New film coming out. Sam the Butcher.
Brilliant, dude.
I guess you had to be there. I don't know.
With Alice, and got her in her lace and fishnets and
Yeah.
shit. Oh, that was
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh god, that
Corn
one.
so fast, Steve.
Huh? Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm taking a dump.
He's got all the cool effects.
Yeah.
Like that's a fucking chair.
Oh, that looks like a more comfortable chair than mine. This is a brand new
It's
chair.
comfortable,
Yeah.
It's a very comfortable chair.
Look at that. You got that. Look at my echo still. It's reverb. I'm sorry, Tony.
Reverb.
I don't care.
But you got that
Reverb Nation.
neck rest on you.
No, I don't use. I got a high back, but I don't really like lean back on it. And it's like,
Yeah.
where will
Isn't
your
that
like a
children live
slight-
in 1973?
Yeah. Wasn't that a Janet Jackson album, Reverb Nation?
Yeah. Reefer Nation.
Give me a beat. This thing has other cool effects on it too. I can. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
They still
No,
sell
he was
those
throwing down a
organs.
beat, man.
Yeah. They still sell those organs in like in malls where they got like a drum machine built in and you go.
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh,
they sell
It's like-
There's synthesizers now.
Well, they sell
I'm sorry.
spleens like that, those organs. I mean, they have organs with synthesizers. You
Hmm.
can get a spleen with a synthesizer. You can get a liver with a synthesizer. You can get a couple maracas with that are kidneys, and there's a lot of good stuff you can get with organs.
Kidneys
Oh.
pissed me off, man.
That's right.
Or that shit would be funny as fuck, dude.
I was trying to find out. There's one on here setting on here that lets me talk like a Borg.
Oh gosh, I didn't know I had that picture still up.
Yeah, I'm like,
You changed that.
Little friend. Little friend in my pants.
There's a friend in my pants, and he wants to dance.
My mommy
Said,
told
take
me
a
that-
stance and we'll boogie.
Get back to the
Pulled
costume
out my
pictures.
friend.
You know,
Pulled
some,
out my
Mommy
friend.
told me that you
Helicoptered
could
around.
find friends in my pants. Huh?
you know, tomorrow is Lent now. I mean, Ash Wednesday. So that
Ash
means I got to do this show sober for the next 6 weeks.
No, you
That
don't.
sucks, man.
Isn't that Jewish?
You talking about? Oh,
It's Catholic.
Oh wait, okay, wrong religion. I don't keep track of the religion. You know, these different religions. Yeah.
maybe.
Well,
Well,
I do.
maybe you ought to start.
All I know is God is there. And that's it.
I have one of those rollers
Yeah,
for Lent
roller
if you need
edition.
it. It just gets it all up.
Oh, yeah, there you
That's
go.
good.
Who says I'm there for you?
Here we go. This one's
Voice.
better.
What one's better?
This picture.
The horse?
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, there we go.
A horse is a horse, of course.
No, it was me as the Florida man, and it was just a picture. I'm looking at the pictures, and there's this girl in the car, kind of photobombing unintentionally. I just thought that was funny.
She's more like, Mommy, look at that dumb guy.
What the hell is that thing?
Yeah.
Mommy,
She
call
goes,
the police quick.
Just stay away from him, honey. Don't make eye contact.
Well, I didn't want to say anything, but Pepper was in Molly's chat today, and she's like saying this quote funny story about, because this is all like Mardi Gras special, or I guess she was in New Orleans, and a friend of hers went to there was a congregation of Christians or something, and her friend had a frog mask and was saying that I croaked for your salvation or something like that. And she was all happy about it, saying, "Oh yeah," and it started like a little cult following. And I'm just like, you realize that blasphemy is an unforgivable sin, right? I didn't want to go into it.
is. Yep.
That I didn't say anything. I'm just like, it's not something I would brag about.
Blasphemy, blasphemy you.
Yeah.
That's right, kids. Well, mi amigos, it is that time. I must depart.
Huh?
No,
What are you talking
Part of
about?
what?
Well,
Yeah,
fare
people
thee,
coming.
you just got here.
Yeah.
fare thee well
Darn
wherever
it.
you fare. May your ears receive you at the journey's end.
Thank you, Lord Neo. You truly are
welcome.
the one.
You're talking about Neb's End.
Neb's
Brother.
end. No,
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
talking
moving,
about
isn't
his end. I'm talking
It's
about
long.
what
Huh?
the great eagle told the travelers in the Hobbit.
Yeah.
So Neb, what, you got to go to work all the time now?
No, but like my son's home in a few, so I got to get him dinner and shit like that. And then he's got to start his
So that
Homework
means you
and
can come
stuff.
back later.
wish, because then I do go to work at like 4 o'clock. So I've got that finite
You're-
window that I got to get everything done before I go.
So do I.
Well, you're late at 6 o'clock now.
He gets
Well,
laid.
I
No,
mean,
he
over
gets
here in
laid
Washington
later than
State,
that,
it's
Steve. When he gets
early.
home.
Oh, he gets laid later than that?
When he gets
Yeah.
home.
I get laid later.
Yeah.
Is that what
Nice.
you
Doesn't
said?
usually work out well.
Yeah, he's married. He's married, Steve. That stuff doesn't happen when
Oh,
you're married.
yeah, that's right. I know that's right.
Well, now we enjoy. We enjoy having your in our
Yes,
that
we had,
yeah
Your,
we
your,
enjoyed
your face.
having you in our congregation today.
having
Yeah.
you in
Gonna
our
have to make sure I
conscience.
shower after this. I'm congregated all over. Ugh,
Yeah. I
sticky.
hope I'm sorry I got it all over you.
Oh,
Try to aim for
Steve, you had to do it,
try
didn't
to
you?
aim for Timmy next time, okay?
Hey, hit us up, Neb, and maybe we'll finish our first special ed or do something fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Gotta do
do you
something.
guys in like Messenger or something, just send me your like updated emails. I'm sure you guys changed all yours. Mine's the same. It's Nebula Pig at AOL.
Well,
Okay.
mine-
I didn't know there was an
Nice.
AOL, and I thought all the old grannies they had that have floofied by now.
Yeah, my mother
I'm the
had
last
that.
one.
My mother had that till the day she died.
So Neb's
AOL.
keeping them in business. Tony, are you
Yeah.
okay?
hmm
Okay. All right. Well,
But hit
cool,
me up
Neb.
on
Thanks
there.
for hanging with us.
Yeah.
I hope we
Peace,
see.
brothers.
Hey, next week we'll be on the Transforama channel, and we might have actual people in chat and stuff.
Yeah, there you
Well,
go.
we do have a couple
I didn't
people.
I didn't even get to play the Bareback Mountain yet. Isn't that terrible?
You
Oh,
get
well, we'll
'em
do it.
next
Hey,
week.
tell you what, we'll do it. Make a mental note. We'll do it next week. Not a mental
Yeah.
note. Write it down, and we'll do it next week when we actually have our Transforama people
Oh.
here.
Okay,
Then we'll know.
fine.
Well, even the Transforama people, they come. They we get like a horde of them for like 5 minutes, and they're gone.
You calling them whores?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whores in there? It's nice.
Whores?
Ooh,
Wow.
Oh yeah. They can't resist my sexiness.
That's it.
Oh man, the cam
Your
girls come in
sex
for
and what?
Neo.
Well, look at all those sexy guys. You know, that's what the allure.
No, like the girls dig me.
Yeah.
You remember the Jenny Cam?
Oh,
I
what?
think she was the Jenny Cam. She was the first
Cam
back
girl.
in the 90s, back before that was anything, and she was a cam girl back then.
Oh, I heard
I don't
she
know
broke
her.
her hip recently.
Yeah, well, I know the problem was she was really cute, and then she just got fatter and fatter.
It happens.
All right.
Yeah.
Peace,
Take care,
brothers.
Neb. Thanks
All
for hanging
Hi,
out.
Neb. Have a
Keep
good one,
stay in
man.
touch.
Later.
Take care.
Oh man, I want to get rid of that guy. Now, so I want to have Timmy facing the right direction. There we go.
Damn it. I need to get my fangs fixed.
I'm kind of limited the direction I can face because I'm not 3D. I'm only 2D.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just put you over on that side of the screen.
Well,
so
get on a 3D thing or turn off
you
the.
know,
I can't. I don't know
Turn
if
off
you
the
can figure it
cartoon.
out. Put that would be great because I can't figure out how to make it.
No, stop. I said, why don't you just turn off the cartoon avatar and just be yourself?
Why would you say something so mean, Putt?
because the rest
Because
of us are.
I'm an evil bitch.
I will be myself. I will use the cam in 2 weeks. That would be like
Why
the
you be-
18th of March. I will use it
Wait, wait.
because what?
You gonna be dressed up then or something?
No, I'll have my hair did this Thursday. I haven't had my hair did in like a year.
Oh, gee, look at this
It's
shit.
been
How do
2
you like
years
that?
for me. And
Yeah,
it's
but
just-
no,
I
I'm
should be doing Breck commercials, man. Look at that.
Look
On
at
my
this.
Fabio now.
We can all take our hands
mine is
off.
all scraggly and shit, and
Oh,
I can't do it next week because I've got to be attune something with the Transforama crowd because that's my brand.
Mm.
So the next
Oh.
time we're BabbleGab in our BabbleGab channel, then I'll do the webcam.
So you said you were 2D? She was on the Facts of Life.
Yeah, from Fats of Life.
Not that brown. I was like that. I liked 2D. I mean 2D. When I was like 10,
Did you?
Yep.
he was my favorite.
I had a crush on Joe. The
Well, I like the cute
Oh yeah, when
one.
Joe came along, she kind of took over because she was actually
Yeah.
really cute.
Well, there was the cute one, but she was always like bossing everybody around.
Oh, Blair. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Blair was
was.
kind of fat. Well, I guess she could be cute and fat. She's one of the
was
she's one of the reasons that became
She
the
wasn't,
fats
like,
of
huge
life.
like that other one was.
Stuck a
Like the
bitch.
Tootie was.
The
Was her
other
name
one was
Tootie?
the disabled girl. Like she had
Oh.
cerebral palsy.
Natalie.
Yeah, what was her name? No, Natalie was the big chunky girl.
What about
Yeah.
Molly
Oh, yeah.
Ringwald? She was like on only the first season.
Was
Yeah,
she?
I
I
guess
didn't know
so.
she was on there.
Yeah, she was the one that kind of looked like Peppermint Patty a little bit. She kind of had that
Oh.
bobbed hair.
I didn't know she was on there.
That I I I
Spit
would
it
like
out,
to
boy.
see the Chiller Comic Con in New Jersey because they've got like the facts of life people. Because a lot of those people live kind of up in that direction, and they don't want to go all the way to Florida. So you get a whole bunch of different like 70s stars, and it's a lot more 70s stars than comic book artists that we don't give a fuck about.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Yeah. I don't understand why they won't come. Visit. Florida.
Well, some of them do. We got a pretty good outcrop of them this last year.
I wouldn't go out of the way to see the Facts of Life cast, but
I don't think I'd go out of the way to see them, but if we were at a con and they were there, it would be kind of cool to see them. But I don't know, Jeannie. That was she was like the queen of people that I would probably have as far
I'm
as
jealous
TV
you got to
stars,
see
I
her.
can't imagine anybody I would have rather have met than Jeannie.
I'm jealous that you got to meet her.
Well, you like live 4 miles away. I told you
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
going.
You got to have plenty of this.
What, crack? She doesn't do that
Yeah.
stuff. She's like
Money.
93 years old. She doesn't do that stuff. Meth.
Money, money, money. But I'm working. I'd like to go to Tampa Comic Con, but I don't know if it's going to be worth it if there's much.
I want to go, but there's got to be some people that'll draw me there.
That'll what? Drive you there?
No, I don't want to go if the only people that are celebrities are comic book artists and people from shows that I don't care or have never heard of. I mean, Paul Williams is what drew me there last time.
Really? I wouldn't.
Well, who did you think drew me there?
I don't know.
I mean, John Snyder and Priscilla Presley were that helped, but it was really Paul Williams who I wanted to see.
Well, there's literally no one living or dead or current or past that I ever want to meet. Don't give a shit.
Sorry, a car was passing by when you said that. I didn't hear it.
I said there's nobody living or dead. Well, I can't meet dead people or famous now or famous back then that I'd ever want to meet.
What about David Bowie?
He's dead. He's
I thought you
dead,
said
man.
there's nobody living or dead that you'd want to meet.
And then I corrected it. I said you can't really meet a dead person, but in spite of that,
I see dead people.
yes, you do.
Well, what about Scott Walker? Oh, he's floofy too.
I think he flew. Yeah.
So those are the only 2 people you liked? Seriously?
No, I liked a lot of them, but I don't give a shit about meeting any of them.
You're just saying that to be difficult.
I'm looking
I'm
at
not.
the Tampa Comic Con. There's no celebrities that I even know who they are.
Well, they better change their shit or I'm not going to go.
Well, you got Lou Diamond Phillips, maybe.
Only seen one thing. I saw La Bamba like 40
Yeah.
years ago.
Landon McDonald, Shamik Moore. I've heard of Joey Fatone.
How you like my $3 sweater?
I really wish, and I really do, that we talked about this before. I really wish they'd do a rock con and have bands at their booths.
Wouldn't that be cool?
It would, and you can have a sign when you go in. Please don't ask them to sing
Yeah.
their song. I can understand that, but it would be cool to meet them.
Yep.
You know.
Oh yeah.
And this is Elaine Bryant.
Boy, I would
Sorry,
love, yeah,
Jim.
that's the one person I would still love to meet is Justin Hayward, and he'll probably floofy because he's getting that age, and I'll never have gotten to meet him. I did in my dream, that weird dream, so I guess that's something. And then Steve put a weird news of the weird
What?
about a sinkhole happened on High Street in Cobham, Surrey. Remember that, Steve? Like a week ago. And I said, that's where my dream was.
Was it really?
Yeah, because that's where the Moody Blues shop is. Their Threshold Records, where their fan club is on High Street in Cobham, Surrey.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Maybe this predicted the dream. The dream predicted the sinkhole.
I think even Justin would get a kick out of my dream. I thought it was hilarious. It was funny at the time. You ever had a dream? It's like dreams magnify things. Something that's kind of amusing becomes like where you can't stop laughing hysterically, and it's something that's kind of sad just kills you.
Yeah. It'll do that. That's why I like nightmares.
Ugh.
Those aren't any fun either. They can wreck your whole day. It's just
I don't like nightmares.
I don't like them either. Most nightmares I've ever had is I'm seeing something on TV that's disturbing or something. And I think it goes to childhood, because we used to watch, my mom would just have this, I don't know what kind of masochistic people there were that were worked for NBC to make their Sunday night movies because there were things that were just like, what the hell? For a 4-year-old watching this, it gives me nightmares still.
Well, that's because you were a kid when you saw them, and adults don't realize what really scares kids. You think you're going to scare a kid with some kind of creature or something, but that may or may not scare a kid, or you think you make some kind of intentionally goofy looking creature. But for a number of kids out there, it's going to terrify the hell out of them forever,
Yeah, like the thing with clowns. I was never afraid of clowns, but
neither was I.
I don't think kids were afraid. I don't think they were afraid of clowns until Stephen King started shitting all over their childhood with that stuff.
I know. I love clowns, man.
My niece was 4 years old, and my dumbass sister let her watch Poltergeist.
Oh shit.
That's not
And
good.
my niece, 4 years old, hid in the closet. I'm like, well, you just saw Poltergeist. Why would you want to hide in the closet of all places?
I saw Poltergeist at the theater when I was 12, and that wrecked me. That was very scary for a kid, because it just was. It was rated PG, and so parents were taking their kids to think, it's a fun ghost movie, and it was very scary.
Yeah, it was.
And yeah, it scared the shit out, and it affected me for months probably. I mean, I wasn't like a basket case, but it really did disturb me, where I'd go to bed at night thinking about a tree coming through my window and grabbing me and all this other bullshit, or looking in the mirror and pulling my face off, and just it was a very scary, and I think even Spielberg regretted it, the way they released. I think I think PG-13 was because of that movie.
No, PG-13 was because of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. It was
that's right. Is this another Spielberg movie?
Yeah, well, it was so intense that they couldn't give it a rated R because it didn't meet the rated R criteria, but it was too intense for anybody under 13. So
Under 30?
13.
13. Yeah.
I said I just added 30. That's all I'm saying.
I know you added 30. Well, no, it's a fun movie. I liked it.
It was an okay movie.
Yeah, I liked when that guy pulled that heart out of.
Well, that's the reason. That's the whole thing. Pulling the heart out of the guy's chest and it's still beating. That was a little bit rough for a kids movie, which is what Indiana Jones kind of was.
I've never seen.
That and Kate Capshaw singing.
Well, we don't. Nobody wants to hear that.
Singing.
Oh, that anything goes at the beginning.
Yeah,
they could have done without that.
Putting
on the Ritz. Anything goes.
I have never seen any of the Indiana Jones movies.
Well, you should see the first one because it's one of the classic movies ever made. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's perfect. It's a perfect movie. It's like Star Wars. It's a perfect movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then the more they make, the worse they get.
Well, no, because a lot of people consider the Holy Grail, Indiana Jones and the Holy Grail, the one they came out. It was the third one, to be very close to the original. It was very well done, and I agree, it was very well done.
Yeah.
The second one was kind of like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the third one was back to basics. It was back to.
So the
And
second
they should have left it as a trilogy and left it at that.
Second one had a lot of horrors in it.
Yeah.
No, just some screaming bitch. that all she did was scream. And then there was a little Japanese kid that's like, ah, Dr. Jones! And he was just annoying the whole,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since the 80s. I've got the trilogy, Steve. Come on over here. I'll show you all three of them. Now he'll never come over. No, you do need to see the first. The first is amazing. And it's not even my type of movie, but it's like... And boy, oh, go ahead, but...
No, I just say I liked it. But anyway, go ahead.
My stepmom, Geraldine, she went with it. Me and my dad and Darren and I, we saw Indiana Jones in the theater like 1980 when it came out, or 81, I don't remember. But when it came out, and Darren and I were psyched, especially Darren. And what we watched was a piece of history. It was kind of like Star Wars. They did it again. This one changed the way movies were thought of and the way they were made. And people still talk about Indiana Jones. They still talk about it. And my stepmom's been dead for like 10 years, but I remember shortly before she floofied, she says, remember that when we watched that stupid film about the guy with the whip and then in the jungle? That was, and she still saw that was as like some dumb movie. I'm just like, I didn't want to argue with her, but I'm just like, you realize what you're talking about? You witnessed. It's like you remember when we saw that stupid thing about the shark and that sheriff, that dumb movie. It's just like, it was John. It's just like, it changed pop culture, and she's like acting like it was just some C movie.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I thought it was funny. She said, I didn't argue or anything. I'm like, yeah, I remember it was fun. I thought
you should have said, you die and you go to hell.
Some people dance cheek to cheek.
Man, I don't know. I mean, I really loved it. And I liked the second one. I loved the third one. And I don't think I've seen any since then.
You're fine with that. I did see the... I did see the one with the... don't even know what it's called. Crystal Skull?
Alien head?
Yeah,
whatever.
Crystal Skull.
It was dumb. And I didn't see the Dial of Dysentery. That was terrible, I've heard. Even my boss, or former boss at work, said he watched it with his kids or whatever, and he said it was this... He said even the chase scenes and stuff were just, he kept looking at his watch and just wanted it to be over. But he was saying even the stuff that was supposed to be exciting, like the chase scenes, were just tedious. It was just a terrible movie. That one, what was her, Bridge? What was her name? It had Bridge in her name? Phoebe Waller-Bridge?
I don't even know.
She was that
Bridget
ugly,
Bardot.
the ugly bitch that was in that movie. And she was the one responsible. I guess she was part of the writing team, and she was responsible for basically like killing Indy's character. And she's also the one that was responsible for killing James Bond.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful of her. Thank you.
Well, ever since Craig, I've not been interested in 007 movies anymore. He had a strong start. I mean, even despite that he doesn't look like James Bond, it's like Casino Royale was a good movie. And that was it.
Uh-huh.
That was it. It didn't follow up. And then, so I didn't really care anymore. But if I did, who do you think should be the next James Bond? I always thought it should be, what was it, John Hamm?
He'd be good, yeah. Trying to think of any other guys that would do it. I mean, I'm trying to think what would be a good one.
Well, I think the Broccoli's have someone in mind. It's like this mama's boy. It's not that
Well,
timid.
the Broccoli, I guess they're out because it's now the whole franchise is owned by
Amazon.
Yeah. So he thought it sucked before. It's going to suck 10 times as hard.
Yeah, not only is it going to suck 10 times as hard, but it's going to have all these spin-offs. They're wanting to do a Moneypenny TV show and all this other shit. Oh, yeah, we can see her. Like, this episode of Moneypenny, she breaks a nail while going through the filing cabinet.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you'd find out she's some kind of super agent, too.
I don't want to know. I don't want that.
I don't either.
Can't
Nobody does.
Moneypenny just be Moneypenny? Why do we have to have everybody be some save the world piece of shit?
I don't know. The only one I've heard of that they might be considering is Liam Hemsworth, but I don't know.
Yeah, but he's
I'm not-
4.
What?
He's 4.
He's 4.
He's Thor. The guy
That's-
that acted.
That's
played
Chris
as Thor.
Hemsworth. He's 4. What about
Chris Hemsworth.
ever since they made Q gay, when did they do that?
Jeez. As soon as that bitch got a hold of writing it, I don't know. Not everybody has to be that way, you know, and throw that crap in.
I don't care if they have somebody gay. That's fine. They can have a 00 agent that's gay. I don't care. But it's like leave the classic characters alone. Leave them alone.
I always thought they should have gotten John Delancey to play Q.
I don't know who he is.
The guy that played Q on Next Generation.
You're asking me about Next Generation.
What was your question, Tony?
John Delancey.
I mean, what about him?
Playing Q.
I think I get it.
Because they had John Cleese for that one with Brosnan.
Yeah.
Did you see? There was a movie that I saw in the '80s just once called Q, and it was about it was like a pterodactyl that lived in the top of the Chrysler Building.
Yeah, Quetzalcoatl was his name.
And then I looked at the cover art for like the marquee, and it was a dragon on top of the Chrysler. And I thought, I don't remember a dragon. I thought it was a pterodactyl.
Well, the Quetzalcoatl is a serpent, a flying serpent god. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, he can. I don't know what he looks like in real life because.
Well, I'm just saying that the DVD cover didn't match my memory, and maybe the DVD cover is correct. I thought it was a pterodactyl. I didn't think it was a dragon. And this wasn't some weird creature that was this and that. The DVD color is a dragon on top of the building, because I just saw it like a week ago. Like, it's a dragon. That's not a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
I don't care either way. It just I'm just saying the artwork didn't match my memory. It can't be as bad as that Wasp Woman movie. I would have thrown rocks through the windows of the theater that showed that shit.
Wasp Woman?
Yeah, there was a movie in like 1958 called Wasp Woman. Okay,
I might have seen it. Yeah.
Okay, so the cover art for it, the marquee poster, shows this woman with a wasp body and a woman face, and she's got all these skulls underneath her. And it's like, ooh, that's spooky. That looks cool. Let's watch this. The whole movie was people, and Tony gets mad when I say this. The whole movie was people just monologuing, talking. Hey, secretary. So, have you ever seen a lollipop this color? And it's just like, you're wondering what the hell this has to do with the Wasp Woman. And every once in a while they'll show a beehive, which has nothing to do with wasps either. And evidently she was like some movie queen that was using some royal jelly from a beehive, but to make herself younger and turn into a wasp, because I don't know, because that makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah.
So instead of having her,
it was a side effect. It wasn't. It was an unintended.
well, she didn't want to
side
turn into a wasp, but here's the thing: she didn't turn into spoiler. She didn't turn into a wasp. She basically at the end had a Wolfman mask that they bought at the Halloween section of some Kmart store, and they made it. They made the film blurry, so you couldn't tell what the hell it was.
Yeah.
It's like, that's it. You had in the cover photo that the picture that she was a wasp, and this doesn't look anything like a wasp. It just looks like someone with a big black fuzzy face. Yeah. And I wanted my money back, even though I was watching on the Vortex for free. And my thought about it, what do you think, Putt? To give people their money's worth?
Yeah,
we're low budget, right? Here's what I would have done to make it scary. At the end, I would have made like a 3-foot long model, very realistic wasp, and put her in a cage and that would be her. And I could have it, you could do it with the stop motion where her head moves and this and that, or with strings. And it's like her, and she's stuck in a cage as like a real wasp. I thought that would have been at least fulfilling.
Yeah, and you could do other simpler effects, like you don't have to show her whole body. It's like you could show the actress, and then maybe she's like laying down or whatever, somehow like starting to crouch over, and then you get some darker. You're doing it in a dark environment, and then maybe you see some wings kind of pop out. You know, wasp wings appear, that kind of thing, and then
Yeah, you could do
you
one of
know,
her face, maybe have a wasp mask and do one of her face. And then you actually show a real wasp, like a close up of it.
yeah,
That would be fine. That would be fine. And you could put little cartoon, like little tiny skulls under the wasp. You could probably manage that, right?
yeah, that wouldn't be that hard.
See,
No.
you could do it. You could do it. Like we could do it, Tony and me and you. If we were a team, we could do that in
Uh-huh.
3 days, and we
Yeah.
can make it work. And it's like that the way they did it with like this fuzzy. It looked like a Jeff Lynne mask, and making it blurry.
Mhm.
That's what a ripoff. I imagine people were really pissed off.
Oh, there were. I'm guessing.
I don't know. It was,
People had low expectations then, I guess.
well, those kind of movies, people didn't go there to watch the movie.
I think the worst was The Child Bride.
I don't think I saw that one.
They showed that was a very controversial because they had naked kids. It was the whole movie was about like exploiting children for marriage, like in the redneck country kind of a thing. And the end of it, spoilers in case you ever want to watch it, but it's the spoilers is it's like the antagonist gets floofied, he gets shot, I guess. They don't even hear him get shot. You've got like people are in one room and they hear a pop. Oh, he must have died. Then the movie's over. It's like they ran out of film. There's just like nothing. It's like it's like
There
what?
have been movies like that. They just couldn't afford to keep shooting, so they just said the end.
That was it. It was like that, and you don't even see the guy get shot. It's just like, pop. They're like, "What was that?" And it's like credits.
It's terrible. I mean,
What is that?
one of the
Steve,
saddest.
Steve put a penis avatar thing in our chat.
Yeah, he did. One of the sadder ones. It was the poster was accurate to some extent. It was a Tor Johnson movie called The Beast of Yucca Flats.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
And it's a good one, except the sad thing is Tor's got to walk with a stick by then because he's, getting older, but it's a good movie.
Well, that's not sad.
Well, no, but I mean, he's just getting older, and he's having a little bit of rough time navigating some of the terrain, but no, it's a good movie. I like that
If
one.
you could change. Everybody's saying, what if they did this in the Bond world? What if they had Timothy Dalton playing in View to a Kill instead of Rod? If you could turn back time and think about what would this be like? Because View to a Kill, Barry would have been awesome with him. But let's say it this way. I would have loved to have seen what the Three Stooges did when they were older in the early 70s before Larry had his stroke, because they were gonna revamp the Three Stooges, remember?
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen what they would have come up with,
Mm-hmm. Would have been interesting.
It would.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen that. Like an older, what could an older Three Stooges get? Because they could still get. Lucy was still getting into trouble with Here's Lucy in the early 70s, and she was like
Yeah.
90 years old then, and she was still getting into trouble.
Oh yeah.
Well, she wasn't 90 yet, but I think
She was
I
close.
think by the early 70s, didn't she have that rasp in her voice by then?
Yeah, because she smoked chain smoker.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she lived as long as she did.
And like 30 pounds of makeup.
Yep.
Because she, what the hell was it, like 89? She got yet another series and started shooting that, and then she passed away.
And everybody says that was like disgraceful to her, that last series, that Life with Lucy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see it. I didn't think it was. I saw scenes from it. where she was like on a treadmill and doing her shtick. I didn't think it was. From what I saw, it wasn't that bad. I don't know. People
Yeah,
like.
but you didn't like it because you didn't end up in any mud holes this time.
She was too old for that. Oh yeah, I liked that part of her.
Yeah.
She was into that stuff that I kind of like. That where she covered her head in chocolate and would
Yeah.
submerge in the mud. I think she was into that stuff. She liked it, or either that or Desi liked it. Hey, Lucy, with the long trailer, I got a scene for you. What, darling? I'd like you to disappear into the mud.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was one of them that liked it. I thought it was kind of. Have you seen that, Putt?
Yeah, that one where she gets in the mud and chocolate. Yeah, I'm kidding.
No, not at the same
Well, I've seen the
time.
one I've seen the one where she tries to eat all the chocolate coming off.
No,
the
it was a
conveyor.
long
No, this is
trailer.
a movie, though. The long trailer.
Yeah, they had there was a movie in the 50s called A Long Trailer, and it was Desi and Lucy, and
Playing different characters.
yeah,
Oh,
which
wow.
is
Okay.
odd, but yeah, they wanted to buy a motorhome, like a travel trailer. I don't think there are motorhomes yet, but
Mobile
they
home.
they wanted to buy a motorhome, and they went to a
Mobile.
place and they sold them a mobile home. And they're
Okay.
like, where would you like this shipped to? And they were basically like, well, shipped to, we're going to tow it. So they ended up towing this mobile home as their travel trailer.
Okay.
And they're going through the mountains with, am I right, Tony? They've got this little convertible.
Because Desi's character had gotten a new job where he had to travel a lot, and she wanted to be with him all the time. And so her big idea was to have a big trailer that would be their home, and so she could be with him all the time.
So yeah,
And
that's
they go
why
to
the
the-
movie was called The Long Trailer. So they're like
Yeah.
going up. People said that there's people that say that scared the shit out of them. They were in the mountains trying to turn around on this like hairpin curve on like a canyon road with that trailer. And it was funny. It was but there was one scene where they were at the side of the road and it was raining real hard, and Lucy fell out of the door into the mud, and she disappeared in the mud. I mean, she's like, that was it. And I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I like that stuff. And I the only other thing I remember about that show is she wanted to save rocks as souvenirs.
Oh yeah.
So the whole trailer was getting full of these heavy rocks, and that kind of didn't help them on their journey.
Mhm.
It was a funny movie. In fact, I think there was one scene where she was in the trailer while they were traveling, and she was trying to make breakfast in the trailer, and it was shaking all over. And I think that's where I got the Edmund Fitzgerald, the eggs falling on the floor and rolling out the door.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it was if you like the Lucy stuff, you'd probably like the movie.
Well, I like those old comedies. They're pretty good.
I like the mud, so I might watch it again.
You know what they
No.
did on those mountain scenes? They would tilt the camera to make the road look even steeper than it already was.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was, they started the movie out with a Ford. It was from '54. It was a brand new '54 Ford convertible. And when they got to the mountain scenes, the Ford couldn't pull that trailer up the mountains. So they switched over to a Lincoln, the same color, and hoped nobody would notice.
I wouldn't notice because you know what? The
I mean,
Lincoln,
they look very similar.
well, the Lincoln I was shocked at the 55 or the 56 Lincoln. It just looked like a 55 or no, it didn't even look like a 55 Ford. It looked frumpier. It looked like you were buying a 52 Ford. The 55. It's like this is the thing. This is the premium car. Wouldn't you agree, Tony? That was a shitty design for a premium car in 55 for that. I mean, it just looked like maybe a Mercury, or it just didn't look. Now they eventually caught up and they looked swanky again, but good grief.
Mm-hmm.
I would have barely known the difference. Just the grill
Yeah.
shape is it.
It was just bigger. That was all. It just had more engine.
But
yeah, well, Lincoln, they redeemed themselves, I think, in '56, because the Futuro was kind of they were testing the water to see what the new styling direction was going to look
Right.
like. They'd already designed the car, and then they designed a more exaggerated version to make the future. They do that a lot.
yeah, well, Putt knows
Well,
what the future is.
It's the Batmobile.
It is
Yeah.
1954.
if they had just waited till after the Batman series came out, then everybody would have bought one.
Yeah.
Well, people
Yeah,
they
but
give
They were
Virgin.
throwing it away, and they sold it to George Barris for $1.
Isn't that
Yep.
crazy? They were going to junk it. He just didn't want them to junk it. He's like, just sell
Yeah.
it to me. You know,
He
sell
didn't
it
know
to me.
what he was going to do with it, but he figured it was worth saving.
Yeah, don't
And then
throw
they
that
came
thing
to him
away.
for a Batmobile. Said, I got just the thing right here.
Fine. I'm just glad he rescued it. Well, the Batmobile's
Yeah, and
iconic.
he walked over and said,
Yep.
he slapped the fender and said, you ever know how many bats you can fit in
Yeah,
this bag?"
I would have gone back. I would have taken a job working as a what do you call it, a soda jerk. I would have done that to make $40 to get him to save 40 show cars, concept cars from the big three. You know what I'm saying? Here's $40. Can you save these other 40 concept cars if they're gonna? Because they crushed most of those. The Batmobile would have been crushed.
Yeah.
It's
I wanted one
terrible
of
that they did that. They just crushed those cars.
I wanted one of those atomic cars they built back then.
Oh, the Nucleon.
yeah, the
Oh, the one with
Nucleon.
2 wheels, and it was supposedly had a gyroscope in it or some crap to keep it upright.
Well, there was one
Cool.
Ford made that looked like an El Camino, but it was the Nucleon. Remember, it looked like an El Camino with a big saucer on the back bed. You remember that? I think it was just a model, really, like a quarter scale model.
Yeah, a lot of them were just clay. I mean, they were full size, but they were clay.
Right.
Because I saw one of those at a car show back in the aughts. It was a sort of a new take on the Lincoln Continental. And you look inside, there's no interior. It just stopped at just below door level. So it was just
Yeah.
Do you remember Wonder Years?
Oh yeah,
So you remember the dad on the Wonder Years?
yeah.
Well, my grandma's, her best friends, they lived in California. They were called the Bacons. That was their last name. And Bill Bacon, the dad, looked just like the dad on Wonder Years. Just like him. And I remember he was kind of intimidating, just like the dad on the Wonder Years. And I remember one night, everybody had gone to bed. It was just me and him in the... You okay, Putt?
Yeah, I'm stretching.
Okay,
That's okay.
so it was just me and him in the living room, and we talked a little bit. And I just remember a couple things he told me. One is he was telling me how every trend... He says, those shoes you're wearing, that started in California. Everything starts here. And I'm like, well, I won't hold it against you, you know. And the other thing he was saying, because I think we were talking about models, I said, I'd like to make like the model cars that they make out of the... I don't know if they carved them out of wood or made them out of clay. But he seemed to say that seems a little difficult. You sure you could, you know, like that? He was kind of like saying that must be above my pay grade. He wasn't rude about it. But I remember him saying that's not something I could probably handle.
Because even car styling, I mean, didn't Harley Earl come out of California?
Yeah.
I just remember
Yeah,
that because
but-
you know I had aspirations, and he kind of instead of like egging me on, he was like, at least he didn't say it looks like you might have fun doing it. Well, that would have been better, you know. Anyway, that's all I remember. You know, we got on okay. His kids are brats, and I think they both became cops. It figures.
Yep.
Boy, they were just insufferable. Those kids were. I couldn't stand
anybody
them.
that becomes a cop is a true asshole.
I know, right?
Myself included. Yeah.
Well, your assholiness has kind of diminished since you've retired.
Has it really?
I think so.
Well,
Darren told
Gottschalk.
Gottschalk he couldn't be friends with him anymore when he became a cop.
Oh, geez.
Maybe that's why they don't talk anymore. It was either that or the toilet, making him install his toilet.
Well, you're in a good conversation.
I'll be right back. Now that Steve's, I gotta see my pants. I'll be right back.
Because I've been watching a lot of videos about
Keep going.
About what, Steve?
About the corrupt cops and those auditors and stuff. And
Yeah.
man, you'd be surprised how dumb some cops are.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, because I live in a 4-bedroom house with other people. I'm renting a room, and other people rent a room. We had a guy come in and rent a room, and a real nice guy. He had this big old diesel Ford truck that he'd like to start up right outside my window and fill my room with diesel. But he was a very nice guy. And then one morning I hear a cop siren, and I look out the window, and there's a cop. There's like an unmarked cop car. There's two, and they got U.S. Marshals vests on, and they got their guns out, and they got somebody on the ground, and it's like they're yelling and screaming, and the guns are pointed kind of in my direction, which I don't really care. I'm not afraid of guns, but I don't like having the barrels pointed towards me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was him. They were busting him because he had some kind of warrant in another state.
Oh, gee. Nice.
And they were acting like he was a serial killer and every other damn thing. It was just
it's just amazing
die.
it's just amazing how some cops need extra training.
They watch too
They
much
do.
television.
And they don't. Oh,
Well, they do need extra training, and they've attracted the wrong element now. When I was in the academy, you had to have at least a bachelor's degree to get into the academy, and they used to talk to us about community policing, which meant you park, walk, and talk. So if I had a mall or something in my sector, I'd park the car, and I'd say I'm out on a park, walk, and talk, and I'd walk around just talking to people, getting to know them and whatnot. And they also used to call me officer friendly because when I was in uniform, nothing would really rattle me. I couldn't take anything personally, meaning not that I chose not to take anything personally. It just didn't affect me personally. So, I was never brutal with anybody, and any of that. But now you got guys who, they're just like eager to flex their Johnson or whatever it is, and they're watching too much TV. You're attracting the wrong kind of people. It used to be when I was in the police department, they didn't want ex-military police in the department. But what they didn't mind is if you were an ex-military officer or something like that, then you were welcome you're welcome in the department because you had some leadership training, you had some communication training, you were obviously intelligent, and we even had pilots, helicopter pilots that came in. And, that was a pretty good combo. You had guys that had common sense because they'd been through shit, you know what I mean? So they didn't, they no longer had anything to prove. And I think my boxing and judo might have had a lot to do with that because when I was there dealing with stuff, I mean, it just wasn't like I felt like I had to prove anything. If they were going to get uppity, of course you'd have to take them down. But, in our department, we would usually, most cop fights are dog piles. You know what I mean? You just jump on the guy and cuff him. And then another policy we had was once the cuffs are on, the fight's over. Okay. And if they're going to spit on you, you put a spit hood on them and that kind of thing. Or if they're going to kick at you, you put them in the, you could write them for, assault on a police officer or whatever. But generally, if you got what you gave, in the most part, unless they're drunk or something like that. But, it wasn't all safe, of course. You had people that would maybe want to ambush you or something, but it's a world of difference than when I was on versus what's happening today.
Yeah, today they let just anybody with a GED or a high school diploma go in.
I know. No, I heard a story. It was a police department in California. It might even been San Francisco, and they would give the applicants intelligence tests. And this one guy, they rejected him because he had too high an IQ.
Yeah.
They don't want anybody smart, do they?
No, they figured that they didn't want to put all the money into training for somebody who's going to get bored and quit. That was the excuse.
So they want stupid people to be cops then.
Pretty much. And not only that, but I always feel kind of silly when I see a cop and he's fatter than I am.
Oh, yeah, that gets me too. Oh, I was noticing that the cops that are like big and like, I can get away from him easy, I figure. Another thing that gets me is they'll hold their vests like this, that like they're just hot shots, or tuck their hands into it, stand there like my shit don't stink, and
it's funny. When Gottschalk was here, this is a couple years ago, I said, what I can't stand is when there's a cop and then something happens and they can't leave the car because their belly's wedged in between the steering wheel and the seat. And he looks at me and says, "You really want to go there, huh? Is this where you were going to go?" And that's a wrong channel moment. I mean, that's a precious moment. I don't think we've used. I'll have to find that one. It might be funny to put up on the.
But it amazes me how big cops that they're, I'm a big guy. I don't think I
Yeah.
can make a good cop, but I don't. Some of these, how do they pass the physical test?
It's hard, but you got to do it. I mean, it's some of them are, well, the fat ones, they don't give. I mean, once you're on the department, they're not going to physically test you again.
Mm.
Um, like we had some guys in my on my police force that were so fat that their OC, their pepper spray canisters
Hmm.
would actually get bent in half from their gut
Oh my
whenever they
god.
would. Yeah, and it was just like, we would criticize that, like that's not a good way to do, because the rest of us would, even though I was a chubbier guy, in the police department, they all respected me because I could handle myself pretty damn well. And, and I trained, and I'd go to every day before work, I'd go work out, and they saw it. Even if I wasn't losing a ton of weight, they saw that I was in there, staying in shape. But, then you had other cops that just wouldn't do it, and yeah, the whole thing about the pepper spray getting bent in half because these guys were so fat and sitting in their cars all day, and it was just ridiculous.
I
Well,
mean,
did they ever?
do they? I mean, I
Well,
don't get it. Anyway, go ahead. I'll never get it.
Oh, did they ever give you a drug test? Like, was
No,
that
I never
like
got
something
one.
you had to do on occasion, or would they never only give you a drug test like before you joined the police?
Well, when I signed up, when I got in, they said that, they made me sign a thing that I was willing to take random drug tests, and they never gave me one because, I guess because I was always bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and
Yeah.
acted like a normal human, not on drugs. And but yeah, they could randomly test you if they,
Like, the only time I had them was when I basically when I worked at other than getting a job, the only time we had them was when I worked at McCord's in Alabama, because I worked at the Honda car factory.
Mhm.
Whenever we would go there doing radio work at the factory, they would make us all do this orientation every year, and we had to do a stupid piss test. I
Yep.
hated that shit. Other than that,
Oh
I don't
yeah.
think they would have ever had us. The company itself never made us do that crap.
What I don't get is how do these big, oversized cops, how do they deal with having to do foot pursuit? If they got to chase somebody
Yeah.
down.
They get on the radio and call for
Yeah.
help. Basically.
This guy's got a hostage, but I can't get to him. I just give me a donut.
I
Yeah.
think Tony might remember this. There was a movie in the '70s called Gone in 60 Seconds,
Yeah.
and there was a scene where a cop was chasing after the guy, and the guy had like a Dodge Challenger, and he's going real fast, and the cop was, I guess he had a police dog with him, and well, he was chasing him and he crashed, and the guy, the he got away, and he was going, and the cop, he had his glasses, and he gets out of his car that's all smoking. He just like, you son of a bitch. I just thought that always made me laugh. You son of a bitch. I guess you had to be there.
No,
I
it's
mean,
funny because yeah, you get some of that. I mean, you never know. It's I don't know. And there's other bad things that some cops would do not related to their physical fitness. And I'm not talking about crimes. I'm just talking about being bad cops. Like, there's one guy, if he got a call, we would never go to his call and help him because, I mean, unless he was in danger, of course.
mm.
Because if you showed up on his call, he'd basically just put his clipboard away and drive off and leave you with the call and the
Oh,
paperwork.
when Darren was doing that,
Oh,
when he was the cop.
I've seen that done on these videos.
Okay, that's something he would have done.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to get into that. I felt bad last week. I was saying stuff about him, and I'm like, shit, I'm on the Transforma channel. I've got people that could blackmail me with this shit. Uh,
Oh, and I remember about 20 years ago, there was a news report of some big fire, or there was a bomb thing, and there were all these firemen standing around in their yellow turnouts, the coats and everything. And one of them was at my fattest, bigger than I ever was. He
wow.
must have been over 400 pounds. and he had the turnout, the uniform, the yellow uniform on.
They have to have it
They even
custom
make
made
them
or
for that
Yeah.
size.
What gets me is some of these videos I've seen also. They're oh gosh, a couple of the cops look like they belong in high school.
Yeah.
Little young things. I'm like,
But what I don't get is there's these people, these women mostly, I guess, and they sue airlines because they make them book 2 seats because they
Yeah.
take up 2 seats. And it hurts their
Yeah.
feelings, and then or they just want money and they sue them for it.
Yep.
well, that don't make any
That's
sense.
that's not good. The
Or the one who sued Lyft or whatever.
yeah, she's gonna lose
It
that
was bigger than the
lawsuit.
car.
Bigger than the car. Wow, I hadn't seen it, but that's crazy.
Yeah, she's about 500 pounds.
Oh jeez.
And the driver wouldn't take her because he goes, "You'll ruin my tires, and you won't fit in here anyway." And she goes, "I can fit in this car. I can fit in this car." And then when she started suing, she goes, "Sometimes I don't realize how, big I am. I just think I'm normal." Well, she went to a radio thing to do a podcast, and she sat down in a regular chair, and she goes, "Y'all got anything bigger than this to sit on?" So they literally pulled her up a love seat to sit on and talk, and she goes, "Oh yeah, this is better." And then she did a video of her getting into a big ass SUV and saying, "Well, look, see, I fit," and then she gets out of this big ass SUV, you know, she's
And it
just
tipped over?
delusional. Yeah, and
Like
then
the,
they show
like
a
the
picture.
Flintstones thing with the big piece of meat, that big bone that was on it. That
Yeah, it was
that
that would be funny.
I I don't know. Those
Then there
people,
was
a lot
one
of
of
those people are influencers. I hate that word, but yeah, they're if you're influenced by somebody on,
one of these crappy channels.
well, I take that back. Like I told you, I kind of like Mark Dice. I like certain people. I guess they can influence you a little bit. Hey, I'd like to be funny like that guy. And
Yeah, some of
I
them
like
were
my
really
videos
funny.
to be short like that guy does, and not do stupid ad reads about coffee and stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess they can influence you a little bit, but I still don't like that name, influencers. It's like,
I don't either.
because you could have said that about anybody. You could have said that about '60s singers. Go ahead, Steve.
I'm just saying, I'm still here. I'm just eating dinner while I'm.
Good. I give him a chance to come in, and he's telling us that he's not coming in.
Who?
You.
No, the other goof.
What do you mean?
It was
I didn't want us to cut you off because I saw you were like, what would you like to say, Steve? And you're like, nothing.
Oh no.
Oh, so last week I was going to say
here.
something about the Smoke on the Water song, and we got derailed somehow.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Would you like to hear it? I think you might know it all.
Go for it. If you can still hear me.
I can hear you, but I'm trying to think of what was interesting about it. It was interesting last week, and it's not really interesting now.
Well, was there more to the story than they told in the song?
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah.
A little bit more.
There was a guy
I posted a link in Steve's chat showing the fire. It was pretty hairy looking. I mean, it's crazy looking
Yeah.
fire.
Oh,
Was the smoke out on the water then?
No. It was a terrible fire. It was like, I mean, we all know that the horrible Great White. It's basically the same situation, but
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it was the same situation. So Frank Zappa and the Mothers are playing, and this is mostly from Howard Kalin of the Turtles, because the Turtles had joined Frank Zappa at that time. They were part of the Mothers. So yeah, someone stupid with a flare gun caught the ceiling on fire, and this was in a casino, Montrose. It was a little town. It was a town in Switzerland on a lake.
yeah.
And the casino was where they were playing, and so yeah, he caught the ceiling on fire, and so the good news is there were these giant plate glass windows, and everybody started throwing amps, chairs, everything through these windows, and during the concert, everybody got out. Thank God there were no casualties.
Yeah.
But Deep
Yeah,
Purple were recording in the basement, and all of their gear was ruined in the fire. And so yeah, it was like Howard talked about how they were just watching, looking at everything burn, and I mean, just like thank God everybody got
Yeah, but their
out.
equipment could be replaced. They couldn't.
Equipment, exactly. So it was like at least people, So I mean, it was a happy ending, particularly. But I just thought it was an interesting story, especially when you see the pictures of it. It's like, oh my God, like, you can't believe people got out of that. It was terrible looking. But
And where did this happen?
it was in a place called Montrose in Switzerland.
Oh, okay.
That's
Where was
that's
the
what
Great
song
White
was about.
Fire at?
That was in Rhode Island,
Okay.
West Warwick, something like that.
And there were casualties on that, fatalities.
100.
Yeah.
I won't even watch videos of that because I was working at Blue Cross at the time and doing my AV stuff where I go to building with carts and different things. And they had, I'll never forget, I was in building 3 and there was this, they had on TV showing the flames and showing the people in the audience and seeing their faces. And I'm just like, it ruined my day. I that's all I could think about. It was just horrifying. And there's people that say, "Oh, there's video of them all piling up," and I don't want to see it, and saying how disturbing it was. I can't imagine seeing people's faces and stuff.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah,
I never watched Saddam Hussein get hanged or anything. I don't want to see that stuff.
They
And
televised
that was even before I realized he was kind of not guilty. I still didn't want, even when I thought that he was a son of a bitch, I didn't want to see it,
Yeah, they showed that on TV.
I think, it's on YouTube, I think, him getting hanged.
Oh, I don't. I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see it. Even when I thought he was, even before I knew that that Bush and the whole weapons of mass destruction was total bullshit. Even before when I thought that when I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, I didn't want to see it. And now that I knew it was bullshit, I especially don't want to see it now. Yeah. They did the same thing to wacky Gaddafi. Hillary did. And it's just like, I don't want to see that stuff.
Yeah. I don't either. I don't like that.
All right, boys.
Sorry, Tony. We didn't mean to end on such a depressing note. It was supposed to be funny
whole
stuff.
life is depressing anyway, so.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Smoke in the Water, which was funny. It was Deep Purple's gear getting ruined.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
See you, Tony.
Everybody had that record when I was in high school.
Yeah, and I saw there's a neat special from Richie Blackmore on YouTube. And he's such a quiet asshole. But it was neat seeing him talk about it. He said everybody gets Smoke in the Water wrong. It's not power chords. He says it's an acoustic guitar and that power organ. That jing. It's at the same time doing a chord together.
All right. Well,
see you, Tony.
Folks, see ya.
Be safe.
See you, Tony.
Yeah.
Richie Blackmore is like a musical genius. If you because the guitarist from Def Leppard was on the special, and it's kind of like Tony. You don't, Steve. You don't know how somebody sounds until somebody imitates them.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So this guy in Def Leppard, he says, "So here's how a normal guitar lick would be." Now here's Richie Blackmore doing the same riff, and he starts doing this. That's like, he's right. And Richie Blackmore is a genius. Let's listen to this. What he's doing. Isn't it funny?
Yeah, it's cool.
I hope you do watch it. If you want something entertaining, watch the biography or whatever about Richie Blackmore. It's pretty good.
Cool. It is cool. I'm still working on finding a alternative to certain bar chords that I can play.
I told you you need to get an auto harp. I wouldn't steer you wrong.
I know you're probably right. I mean,
I like a
I'm
harp with
definitely
auto-tune.
right. I've fallen in love with mine. The songs that I've written since I've gotten that, you could, when you're on the guitar, you do this chord and that chord and the other. With the auto harp, you're like, oh, I didn't realize I could mix a D flat, A flat major with a this and come out with this cool. And it couldn't change. Vinny's got one too. He says it's like a secret. that he didn't even want to tell you, but it does. You can write some really wicked stuff with it.
Cool.
The only drawback, it's got like 30 strings you got to tune, which isn't a big deal. You don't have to tune it every time you play it. I tune mine every time I record with it.
That's good.
I tried to tune a fish once.
Like REO
I
Speedwagon said you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that you can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish.
I thought it had something to do with the smell of a pussy or something. I thought it was I thought it was Dirtier, their album cover name.
You guys
She
got
smells
filthy
like tuna,
minds.
but she can't tuna. I don't know what. That's disgusting, Steve. Good God, you're disgusting. You and your '80s music.
Oh my! I can't believe you went there. Oh my God!
It's one thing about Gracie. She never smelled like that.
Oh God!
I'm sorry. I'm just. Hey, that's a compliment.
Oh jeez. Well, I'm
Because I
eating
did have
dinner
a.
too, you know.
Well, I did what?
I said I'm eating dinner too, you know.
Well, I did have a girlfriend that kind of did, and one time I got this box of tuna helper right before we were gonna get it on, and she got pissed. I'm like, come on! I was trying to help.
That's good. It's good.
Okay, we finally got one here. I think. Disgusting, but I think we finally got one.
Yes.
Oh.
Gosh dang. That's
Vaginas. What a dumb name.
What are you eating? Hey, there's a town in Canada called Vagina. No, it's Regina.
Oh,
yeah.
That's where our friend Jack Porter lived. Regina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Regina.
Yeah. I can't imagine living up there. It just seems like it seems like a soul destroying place to live that far up north.
Oh no, it's beautiful.
If you like pine
Anybody
trees,
ever-
if you just like looking at pine trees, that's all it is.
It's pine trees and lakes and snow.
Yeah, the
and
lakes
summer.
are too cold for you to even put your toe in.
You're not supposed to swim in them.
Well, then what good's a lake?
Fish it.
I can do that here in Florida. You can fish.
Well, you can fish and you can look at them lakes. They're beautiful. And then there's tundra. And then there's
It's not pretty tundra. You never said, "Hey, look at that! Let's make a jigsaw puzzle for tundra." No.
Isn't that the name of the pickup truck?
It'd be like one of those, those puzzles that are all one color.
Basically, the purple dread.
Basically, that's tundra.
Yeah, the purple dread. Yeah, there was. I did see on some TV show back in the '80s. They had a guy that was his passion was jigsaw puzzles, and he just had hundreds and hundreds of jigsaw puzzles. What's the hardest he ever said? He said it's called the purple dread. It's just a purple puzzle, one color.
Yeah.
And boy, I can't imagine that. That has to be a passion.
Yep.
Do they even do jigsaw puzzles anymore? I mean, that was a thing in the '70s. People liked them.
Yeah, my uncle loved them. Every year for Christmas, I'd get him a new one.
Yeah,
'Cause
my
he-
uncle
he-
Dick liked them, and he would actually glue them to he'd make frame them when he was done with them.
Uh-huh.
He had one of the Golden Gate Bridge, and it's like from a distance you don't realize they're a puzzle. They just look like a pretty picture.
Yep. And you say, "No, motherfucker, this is a puzzle."
That's right.
That's right. It's funny. There was one company that was they'd make puzzles, but their jigsaw pattern was all the same on all their puzzles. So people started buying their puzzles and combining them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was funny as hell. Like you'd have a mountain scene, and then you'd have a train, just grafted right under the mountain scene.
That was before Photoshop, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, well, they still do them now, but it's funny
I think they
because
would have changed their patterns.
I think they eventually did, because it was just like, it didn't matter what puzzle you're putting together. It was all the same,
Well,
pieces.
I would assume that the pattern is, well, it's a male, which means it's a metal, um, kind of a metal sort of patchwork of curves. You know, it would be a
Yeah.
stamp. It would be a metal stamp.
Right.
So it'd probably be pretty hard to make new ones. I mean, it'd be expensive, I would think. I actually saw puzzles being made. My stepmom Geraldine worked for Hallmark in Kansas City for the actual Hallmark factory.
Yeah, I remember that place. Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually had a tour of the factory once, and I got to see them. It was basically they had cardboard. It was basically a cardboard picture, and they would have that stamp. The metal stamp would go down and just, chop it, which is pretty. Yeah, I mean it's pretty elementary. It's kind of what we figured they did, but it was neat seeing it being
Right.
done.
Yeah, I bet. Man, if I worked at a puzzle factory and I could make the images, I'd make all kinds of like
Mm.
dirty pictures and put them in the box before anybody caught me.
Oh shit.
It's kind of like when I worked at Blue Cross when I was the AV guy. Part of my job was early in the morning. I'd go through. I was in charge of literally hundreds of conference rooms, and it was my job to replace the flip boards, the flip paper things, and replace the markers and make sure the chairs were all in position. And it was fun. I loved it. But once in a while, I would, like on a flip board, I would draw a little penis. I'd put it like 10 papers down,
Yep.
or I would have it, the whiteboard. You'd put a penis and permanent marker where they can't erase it.
Yeah.
Surprised I worked there as long as I did. But
When I worked at United Airlines, like in the early 90s, I did computer graphics programming. I mean, and one of the things we did is there was a desert scene of a jet flying over, like an A3 ton, DC 3. No, I don't know which one it was. It was a 30 at something 30.
just say an airplane.
An airplane, and it's flying over desert terrain. So me and one of my buddies programmed in there that 1 out of every 100 times that picture came up, you would see a cow skull down in the desert, like a typical desert scene. And then, it was like, then, you wouldn't see it, unless your random generator hit on it again, and it was
An
so
Easter
we put
egg.
that in there. Yeah, like an Easter egg. Yeah. And he goes, "Oh, this might drive the pilots crazy." And I said, "Well, they won't even notice it," or and as far as I know, they never did. But yeah, it was like an Easter egg, and
Well, at least it wasn't perverted or anything.
no, it was in fact it fit exactly with the picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was because we had cactuses and other crap in there.
Because those
that's in the
people in
desert.
Disney, they'd get bored and they'd put they'd put peepees and wee wees in the kids films and stuff.
Yep. Okay, Mr. Bookman.
Huh?
Did they really do that?
Yeah.
Mr. Bookman from Seinfeld. So you and your Jolly Time good friends like to check out the books and draw peepees and wee wees in there.
You would have liked that, Steve. It was this
Yeah.
this librarian got Jerry got in trouble for returning a library book like 30 years late or
Yeah.
something like that. And there was this investigator
Yeah,
that,
he's like a
that ended
library
up
cop.
it was like an investigator. He was just like Dragnet, he was like very serious about his job. And he's like, "Oh yeah, these little punks draw pictures of peepees and wee wees." That was classic.
It was.
But no, yeah, Disney did that a lot. They were always perverts. What was it? It was the Lion King or one of those at the beginning. The clouds spelled out sex.
Sex.
And
The little mermaid has a dick in the castle.
yeah, the mermaid. You're thinking of Aladdin. Had a
Okay.
dick, a castle shaped like a dick, and then
Yeah.
The Little Mermaid, there was a priest that was marrying them, and this was the worst. He's wearing a robe, and he got a dicky hard on in his robe, and it wiggles up and down.
Oh no!
Oh my God.
And they try to say, no, it's his thumb in the middle. And oh yeah, it's his thumb. Like, yeah, bullshit. and then another one was the Rescuers. They're on their little, I don't know if they were riding the dragonfly or whatever, or the magic carpet. They were doing something, and they were passing these windows, and there's this one window, and in the window there's this woman that's naked, and her boobies are showing like right there, showing, and it happened so fast that we didn't see it as kids. But I don't think they counted on the internet where you could pause things, and so yeah, they were always. And the Rescuers is from like '77, so they were always pervs there.
Wow.
Yep.
And I don't mind seeing boobies and stuff, but it's like, oh, come on, it's for 7-year-olds. Come on.
You had to stick a little Easter egg like that in one of your animations.
Like what?
It doesn't have to be anything perverted. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe.
We've already got Terry in his birthday suit in the mud scene.
Well,
but that's not even an Easter egg. It's just like, yeah,
maybe something like maybe something like if you have a scene where there's a closet in it, you see like Hoodoo's red and white striped shirt hanging up or something. I don't know. Or not. I don't know.
It's pretty benign for an Easter egg.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, I'm not very good with Easter eggs then.
It'll grow on. You'll have to just work on it. That's all.
Yeah.
Boy, I can't wait to have this thing done.
You could have a rabbit that transforms into an egg in the background.
To an egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, he transforms into an egg.
That's your Easter egg.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like, what do you call it?
Degenerate, yeah. Age regression.
Although I don't think rabbits come from eggs, but maybe they could.
Yes, they do.
What comes first,
do.
the rabbit or the egg? Remember the Cadbury with the bunny going bok 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 bok?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Bark, bark. Thanks, Easter Bunny.
Boy, those Cadbury eggs were good, but they just seemed like poison. I mean, it just seemed like, should I be eating this? Because this is like so sweet and gooey and fake that it's like it makes a chocolate bar seem like an artichoke. Like it's like.
Yeah.
But I remember they were good. I looked forward to getting a Cadbury egg in the Easter basket. They were pretty good.
Did those have like cherries in the middle?
No, it was like they had like a yellow yolk in the middle, but it was just all sugar, right?
Yep. I ate one once, and that's why I have diabetes now.
That's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's basically sugar put through an atomic filter to make it like a superhero sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
Personally, I think the best. There's two things that I think God gave us for food. Like in the old days, it was manna or whatever. But now it is biscuits and gravy and Reese's peanut butter eggs. I think those are like the food of the gods,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's what they're eating up in heaven and in Valhalla and everybody else.
I could probably, because I'm kind of hoping. I hope I'm worthy. As a sinner, I'm hoping I'm worthy of maybe seeing heaven and going there. But if I do, I kind of hope that we don't have to worry or even think about food anymore.
Oh, we won't.
But if we did, I hope it would be biscuits and gravy and peanut butter eggs.
It says you'll be when you're resurrected, brought to heaven, you'll be imperishable. You won't have
I don't want to be a parachute. I just want to be
not a parachute.
No.
Perishable. Yeah.
Perishable.
Imperishable.
Imperishable.
Yes.
Imperishable.
Yeah, you don't have an expiration date.
Except Rosie O'Donnell. She might,
These expired a long time ago. You know, these people that they embrace Satan, and it changes their appearance. They become more and more Gollum looking. These people.
Yep.
It's sad that they do that. And I notice
Well-
everybody gets old, you know, but it's like, good grief, like, they just look like freaks.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Mark
Same
Hamill
with-
was at the did the Oscars, and his pants didn't fall down this time.
Oh, what a
good.
shame. So, when did his pants fall down?
A couple of weeks ago. He
Did it
was-
really?
Yeah, he was doing a British, kind of the British Oscars, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And he was behind the lectern and was doing his thing, and his pants fell down.
Wardrobe malfunction, huh?
Wardrobe, I guess he didn't belt up after, you know, between them, and it had to have been humiliating. And it wasn't just that his pants fell down; it was his speech while it was happening. Did you saw it, Putt? Didn't you?
No, I didn't. I didn't hear about this.
Was he drunk?
He's probably always drunk or whatever. Yeah, he probably was. That was a lot of people's theory about. Oh yeah, you got to watch it. It had to have been humiliating.
I'll have to
Because
look at
his
that up.
eyes got, he was just like, he's trying to pull his pants up and he's trying to do the speech, and he's just like, it had to be like in the middle of a nightmare where you're going through school in your underwear. It was like that kind of thing, but it was real life.
Did the audience laugh or anything?
No, they were horrified.
Oh.
Yeah, there were people that said that, you know, the actors saw it from the side, so they didn't see the lectern hiding stuff. So they were just like, they were horrified. I think it's hilarious just because he's an asshole.
Well, if
Yep.
he had boxers on, it seemed like it would be a prank.
No, it wasn't a prank. He was, you could see he was genuinely humiliated when it was happening.
Oh, wow.
He was like, he's trying to, it wasn't a joke. Yeah, look it up. In fact, even Google, because since they went to AI, it's been harder for them to censor and hide stuff.
Luke,
How do you,
all you gotta
how
do
do
is-
you access,
What?
how do you access Google AI?
Just go to Google. It's the first thing. If you go to Google and say Mark Hamill pants, the first thing it'll
Yeah.
say is Mark Hamill, his pants fell down, and it'll give you links to it.
Luke,
That's how they're
Oh, yeah,
AI.
okay, never mind. Yeah, okay.
Put away that force, Luke.
Yeah, watch it. It's pretty. And like I said, I don't want to poke fun at people's misfortunes, but he's basically one with Satan, so it's kind of, I think it's okay to kind of
Is he really?
snicker. Oh shit, he's got
Jeez.
worse TDS than he's as bad as Meathead, and so it's him, Meathead, and
Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner, and the mafia guy.
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro. Those are the three. Him, Mark Hamill, and Robert De Niro are the three worst TDS sufferers, where it's like they have to be put in an insane asylum because of their TDS.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Dang, I was.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I heard about him stumbling out of a bar drunk and, doing a TDS rant, but his pants didn't fall down in that case. And this just happened a couple days ago.
So did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube. Yeah.
This coming out of the bar was a couple days ago.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen that. Did you see the thing about the pants?
No, not yet. I'll look it up here soon.
That's why you don't do Oscar speeches drunk or on crack
Yep.
or in. Yeah.
Not a good idea. But he's a fool anyway. I mean,
I don't understand that. He's not getting. He doesn't get any fans from doing. I think most Star Wars fans don't subscribe to that political.
Nope.
You know, I don't know who he thinks. You know, it could be an Epstein thing. It could be that he's forced to say that stuff.
it could be.
Yeah, that was the whole reason that stuff happened.
Uh-huh.
Diddy, Diddley, and Epstein, all that stuff was basically I think it was they worked for the FBI to blackmail people, the blackmail stars to do their whatever they said, right?
Sure. That wouldn't surprise me at all. You get enough dirt on somebody, you can manipulate them to do what you want them to do.
I think that's the whole thing about it. That's why none of the government agencies will release that stuff or let Pam Bondi take that stuff.
Yep.
And she just kind of needs to shut up.
Yeah.
I think people are sick of hearing about it. It's like, don't monologue, don't tell us, oh, this and that. Just either produce the shit or don't.
Exactly. The only good news I saw today is that they might be charging AOC with treason or something, else because of her little PowerPoint slash informational video on YouTube about how to avoid getting arrested by ICE.
We'll see. They
and
haven't arrested anybody yet. In fact, like Pam Bondi's like, if the FBI, if they withheld this and that and the other, they're going to be fired. I'm like, that's it? Fired? That's it? That's it? I think we're kind of past that.
Yep.
And now they're talking about how these these Democrats were coaching Zelensky before Trump's meeting. They even have the names of all of them that were doing it.
Oh, wow.
Which was goes against the Logan Act, so they were breaking the law. So we'll see what happens. Trump is so afraid to actually arrest anybody right now because everybody's, see, he's just getting back at his, which is fine. You can pussyfoot for a while, but eventually I think people kind of want to see people get held accountable for a change.
They do.
Especially teachers and these government people that have been getting away with murder.
Yep. That's a lot. It's been a lot of waste.
Oh, and just evil stuff.
Yep.
Like Tony starting all the fires in LA.
He did that. Yes.
Oh.
Him and his bicycle.
Oh my gosh, that bicycle. And he's even got the flames painted on the bicycle. You'd think that was don't put the flames on your
giveaway,
bicycle.
Yeah. And his little, I burned LA little license plate
and
on
the T-shirt
bike.
that I want to burn LA T-shirt.
Yep. And the fact that he carries a flamethrower with him on his back,
I thought only Whitaker used to do that stuff.
Yeah, mostly Whitaker, yeah.
I would love to get him on our show, but at the same time, we tried that, and he wasn't the Whitaker we once knew.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Sad. Damn Navy.
Yep. Service can take a lot out of you.
I think so. And I think, and we talked about this before, I think in the Navy, all they do is paint and repaint and repaint. And I think that those fumes get to you.
Does, yeah. And if you're enlisted, you got shitty living quarters, and I wouldn't want to be in the Navy.
I kind of wish I would have at least put in a term.
Yeah, that'd have been cool.
It would have. I think I would have liked to. I just at the time, I just had no respect for authority at all, and I didn't want to cut my hair, which I guess is that's basically everybody that joins the Navy. But I just that's why I didn't do it. And I even had a journeyman who was working under an electric company. He says it would, because he knew me. He's like, that the Navy would have killed you. He wasn't being condescending. He just knew my character.
Right, right.
I'm still kind of that way. My problem was respecting a stripe. I just, you know what I mean?
Yep,
I respect, people earn my respect, basically.
Right.
But in hindsight, looking at, it 40 years ago, I'm thinking, well, I probably, maybe I should have tried it. It might have been fun. I would have had some kind of pension.
I thought about, that too. And it's like, I almost did join the Army. But I wanted to be an officer and they didn't want me to be, which I think it worked out best for everybody because officers' lives, while they get better food and quarters and all that kind of shit, their jobs suck. I mean, they're just they're basically toadies for those above them. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot more ass kissing in the officer ranks than there are in the enlisted ranks. And now that I know that, I would have, if I was going to go in the army, I should have gone in and enlisted, for 4 years and had some fun because of, all the videos. I watch a lot of videos on it because Jack's contemplating going in the Marines, and the army guys always seem to be having a pretty good time, and it's a little more laid back than like the Marines are. And they it just looked like a better deal. I mean, overall, now that I watch them, you know what I mean?
Well, to me, it seemed like
Boots,
the Navy or the Coast Guard was the easiest, the cushiest.
yeah.
My dad was in the Navy, and he loved to lecture me when we'd go truck driving together. I hated it, but he one of the lectures he did, it was like a broken record, but one of the lectures he did was that he would uh they'd have to stand on the deck of the ship in formation,
Uh-huh.
and he said if you're about to pass out, he said if you so much as swayed an inch, if you just swayed a little bit, you would be peeling potatoes all night.
Yeah.
And then later on, he's like, "So have you thought about joining the Navy, Timmy?" And I'm like, "I had thought about it. No."
Not now.
So that's part of the reason I didn't enjoy it was just all the horror stories. He said he
Uh-huh.
hated it at the time, but looking back, he liked it. I mean, that kind of makes sense. But it's like, you know
Uh-huh.
what? If I'd have joined the Navy, not only would I have these nightmares about college and having, you know, having a this final exam for a class that I haven't even attended yet. I'm like,
Yep.
why didn't I attend this? I would have those. I still have dreams about not finishing the fifth grade, and all of a sudden I'm adult and having to go to the fifth grade for the last 6 months of school to finish it. I have those dreams still, and if I'd have joined the Navy, I would have just had those dreams too. You know?
Well, probably a lot more severe. There's a guy that I watch on TikTok, and he's an army guy, and he's fairly high up as an enlisted guy, and he's really, really, really funny. He's got this very deadpan sense of humor, and well, what time are we forming up in the morning? And his leadership, the guy, his sergeant will tell him, well, we got to be there at 8:30, or we got to be there at 8:30, or wait, well, okay, it
Can you
starts at
hold that thought?
8:30.
I'm gonna pee myself.
Okay.
Entertain. I was waiting for Seed to come back. I'm gonna lose it. Hold that thought, please. I'm back.
Okay. Well, then, he's
Sorry, I got
tells
issues sometimes.
that's fine. So
Uh,
anyway, he says, yeah, well, Sergeant says be here at, you know, 8 o'clock, and then he gets word from Master Sergeant, be here at 7:45. And they're like, why? Well, so he looks good to his boss, and before that it was a sergeant when it looked good for his boss. And then after that, the company CO says, be here at, 7:30, because he needs to look good for his boss. And then the like division commander wants us there at 7. And the guy's like, but the thing doesn't even start to 8:30. He goes, well, that's the way it's, what you got to do. And he goes, typical Army. You just got to hurry up and wait and do stuff like that.
it seems
You
like
know,
a bad job is so soul destroying because that's where you spend the most of your waking hours.
yep.
You're either there or you're thinking about it. And it seems like in the military, especially if your career, basically you're just working all your life, aren't you?
You basically are.
You might have a
But as
little
you
bit
move,
of leave, but then uh, I just, yeah,
yep, that's it. It's funny. They do have a thing in the Army and other services that they call the E4 mafia, but the people that are telling you about it say, "Well, oh, but it doesn't exist." But it does. It's guys who won't ever get promoted past the rank of E4 because they don't want any responsibility. So they basically, they are usually specialists in something, like fixing a radio or whatever, and they don't, they stay as E4s, so they don't have to become like NCOs and command other soldiers and have all that weight on their back. And he goes, yeah, you got the career, E4 out there, he
that's
goes,
kind of, I
their
think that's
biggest,
what I would do.
yeah,
Well,
he
it's
goes,
like,
exactly.
I joined my job as an artist.
Uh-huh.
And I keep thinking, and my last corporate job was like this too. They keep wanting you to expand and move up. And it's like, you hired me as an artist. That's what I am.
Right.
I do the job I'm supposed to do. If I'm at an assembly line at a car factory and I'm the guy that puts the fenders on the car,
Mm-hmm.
why should I have to, get a job answering phones too, or doing it? I'm the fender guy, and I do a
Yeah.
damn good job. Can I just be the fender guy? Because that's what I'm went to college for. Was to put
Yep.
fenders on. I'm just saying that's kind of what I do. I like to draw. That's what I want to do. I don't want to
Uh-huh.
code. I'm not a coder. I'm a drawer.
Yeah, that was the same problem I had. I was a coder. I liked coding.
Yeah, if it's what
And
you
then,
like.
yeah, I didn't mind coding, but then they kind of changed the way stuff is done. And so I was spending so much less time coding and so much more time going to these stupid meetings that they called ceremonies in this methodology. And it was just like, this just job isn't fun anymore. I'm the coder. If you want me to code something, send my manager to the damn meeting and then come back and tell me what I got to do.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted. But no, you had to be all, everything to everybody, and that got old.
Well, we have a small team. We had a lot of reorgs, layoffs. We had like a 60 people in our company, and now we're down to maybe 10 at the most.
Uh-huh.
And we had this cute girl that worked there, and this little bitty high voice, almost cartoon like voice. And
Mm-hmm.
she was on our team forever. Well, they had some promotion that the parent company had this promotion of, moving above and beyond, and they had some cute name for it. I don't remember,
Uh-huh.
but she ended up doing that. And congratulations, she got the promotion. She's not working
Oh.
for our little company anymore. And then maybe a year later, they did layoffs, and she was gone.
Oh yeah. The people in those positions when they move up are the most vulnerable to layoffs because you had a skill that they needed, and a lot of managers or whatever don't, you know, and so they say,
Yeah, middle
Kiss my
management's always. I've heard they're the first to go.
They are. Yep.
Well,
And
they laid off the founder of our company. You know, the head of our company. They got rid of him like
wow.
last year. That was a shock. I'm like, what? In fact, the two main guys of our company. They're like, what? They got rid of our boss? And not only our boss, but our boss on our other division, who was like the chief programmer.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's like,
Okay.
now what do we do? You know, it's like we're really. It's basically like we're, you know, a ship, and you just take our captain away, and then we're
Uh-huh.
just floating. It's supposed to do everything ourselves, you know. And I don't know.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, that sucks. You know, and that's another reason why I never wanted to be a senior developer. Was not only was I mean, usually they keep the senior developers, but the seniors developers had so much shit to do they couldn't develop anymore. You know, they're supposed to be doing all this shit called architecting and all this kind of crap. And it's like, you know what? How to architect a piece of software changes every 15 minutes in this industry, you know, and you usually have some guy younger than you who, you know, reads something from online about the latest and greatest thing to do, you know, whatever. And so then he'll want to implement it in the app. And it's just like, ridiculous. You know, it's like it doesn't have, you know, don't if it's the app's working fine, don't be putting this new shit in here. You know what I mean? And you know, if you want to do maintenance on it and you find bugs, that I mean you're your guy, you know what I mean? But don't, you know, don't try to re-architect this thing that's already working. That's why much of the shit you see on the internet is probably by some kid late 20s, early 30s, decides that things would be better this different way, whether that's the interface or whatever. So they make these stupid changes. And when anytime you make a change, you really run the risk of bugs. But so they have testing, you know, ways of testing, but you know, they try to do automated testing, which never works. And, you know, personal testing is the way to go. But even with personal testing, you're still not going to catch everything. So you always release buggy shit, you know, and you've got to be, you know, they just don't spend enough time doing that. You know, it's like, okay, it's got a few bugs, hurry up and ship it. And then all of a sudden you got, you know, 2 million pissed off customers or a company that you're working for pissed off because, you know, the girl that uses the app can't find what she was looking for now. You know what I mean?
Well, you know
And
what?
it's
We've been in bands, and you know every little snot nosed, you know, idiot comes in, and they got to put their brand.
yeah,
Even if it's something that's tried and true and good, it's like, okay, so the bass part goes like this, bum 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 bum, and they got to
yeah,
go boom 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 because they want to put their own brand in it, and it
yeah,
ends up it's not right for the song. It's like that doesn't work. We've had I don't know if you've ever had that happen, but
yeah.
we've had these young twats come in and do that shit. Sorry for my language, but
Oh,
yeah,
that's okay.
they don't care that it ruins. They got to put their own personal thing. They don't want to do what's best for the song, what's tried and true.
Yeah, ego, you know,
Ego, yeah, that's what it is.
and it's just silly because
There,
just what you said, it's not right for
there was a whole band that was like they were called the Egos in the '70s. They were a big '70s band, but all they were egos clashing with each other and making weird
it.
country music that ended up being kind of rock after a while.
Yep.
But
And they sing about the Cletus and
the
Clarises and
Cletus,
stuff.
yeah, Cletus, yeah. They were so stupid. They're singing about horses and fields and wait, never mind.
Yeah, that's, you know, a lot of bands that destroys, you know, when they can't get, you know, somebody's trying to be when there's clashes of egos and shit like that, or any other kind of bird you want, you know.
Yeah. Uh, Boy,
I
I
think,
wish I was in a famous band and was like having lawsuits and fights and stuff. That would be cool.
It would be cool.
Because at least I'd have a mansion and fans and music that people groove to, right?
Uh-huh.
You can buy people that handle the lawsuits and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Every once in a while, you might have to show up somewhere wearing a tie, which kind of sucks. I don't know. No, never mind. I don't want to do all that. Never mind. I'll be a nobody. I'm very anti-tie. I never understood it. Now,
I
Tony
don't
loves ties. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
I used to like them. I'm just not fond of them anymore. I mean, I don't have to put one on.
I never understood how to tie one. Basically, what I would do is somebody would tie one for me. Sometimes it'd be Darren.
Uh-huh.
Or I think Jack Wheeler, my boss, he might have tied my tie once. And what I would do is just loosen it enough to pull it over my head and keep the knot. And then when it was ready to do it, I would pull over my head and tighten the knot again. I never understood. I never figured it out. Maybe one day I could if I really wanted to.
Uh-huh.
There's a guy on YouTube that's like people's surrogate dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he teaches kids how to put on a tie. He's even kind of condescending when he does it. He's a total dad. It's really funny watching it, and he's popular. It's been years since I've seen him, but yeah, he's pretty good. He might show you how to change a tire. He'll show you these things that dads will show you, and it's sad. What's sad is that kids need to go to YouTube to have a dad.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew how to tie a tie, but
never learned it.
I knew how to. There's two different knots. I know, the half Windsor and the full Windsor.
Goodness, I don't even know. I didn't know. I guess I've heard the names, but
yeah, they're almost the same, but one just takes an extra wrap around the knot, and almost nobody uses the half Windsor. I mean, the full Windsor. They always go with the half Windsor. That's what you're used to seeing.
Well,
But,
you know
yeah,
what? I learned to do something a lot more important. I learned to tie a bowline knot, which is something that you might need in the wild. That's like that's a knot that, like, you know, a caveman could use. That's a knot that anybody could use. That's basically it's like tying two pieces of rope together and making a knot where the ropes will never separate.
Oh, cool. That is useful.
Yeah, and I learned how to do that, and I forgot because it's been like 30 years. But I learned it once. Well, now you're back. Get the hell in here. What are you doing?
When are we gonna go see everybody in Florida that lives in Florida?
I don't know.
Steve did that in Saturdalia when you were the ghost in the cavern.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? You were like, ooh. No, you were
Sorry,
the Sleestek god. And then Tony took over and did the Nixon thing. One day we will need to put Saturdalia on here and do a BabbleGab. We'll do that on a Transforama show.
That's
right. If we can figure out how to make it work, let's do like a director commentary on Transforama. I mean on Saturdalia. But you were
we've
in
been
it,
talking
weren't you,
about
Bud?
that for a while.
Weren't you
What's
in
that?
Saturdalia, Putt? Didn't you do something in there?
I'm sure I did. Yeah. I don't remember what, but I think I did.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
I think
you were at least at the end of it when you were like, "Hey Terry," you were on the answering machine. "Hey Terry, I've got a great idea.
Yeah.
You're going to be on Saturday mornings. Nothing will change."
Yep.
And Terry's like, "It's
Didn't I-
dune buggy," you know.
Wasn't I the one that told you, hey, invited you on the yacht trip and then told you there was no room?
That was the last page of summer. We
Oh,
got to
that
do
last
one of
page
that
of-
one too. At least
Okay.
this one, Putt.
Yeah.
We've got you as a principal character this time.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice? Instead of just kind of a cameo, as important
Yeah,
as they
cool.
were, now you're like, we've really tried to get these characters and give them a substance in part of our thing.
Right.
Nobody likes me.
Why did you say that, Steve? You're fishing for compliments?
That wasn't me. That was my female subconscious.
There's a
Your
lot of people
female
that have that. You could probably get a grant for that now.
I am his subconscious. I love reverb.
I'm scared to have you feet like that.
Am I scaring Jen?
Yeah,
No,
you're very.
no, I'm scaring Jen.
Oh, okay.
He's putting ugly feet on a.
I popped up a instance of YouTube real quick, and it was a big ugly foot
Why are you looking at big ugly foots?
because I
He
like.
has a
That's
he has a
his
foot
porn.
fetish.
That's his.
He has a foot fetish.
No, I have. This is funny. I have absolutely no sexual
I'm
attraction.
gonna divorce you.
But you
Shut
just
up.
love to look at pictures of them.
Watch him.
She's going to divorce me over looking at feet and feet disorders because my feet hurt all the time.
Sorry.
But I have no sexual attraction to feet.
Yeah, my dick hurts all the time, so I'm always looking at dick pictures because my dick hurts all the time.
I want that for a flyby comedy on the morning show. When
Jen, you're on fire. You got 2 good ones today.
All right, yeah, that was a good one.
That was awesome.
I'm gonna go back on the recording later and get that for a soundbite for the morning show. Finally, something funny. Jeez, oh Pete.
A horse. A horse.
Oh, that's hilarious. Honey, did you want to say something?
Something.
Yeah, I got a big horse dick. That's what it. Never mind. I've gone too far.
That's what a man
Oh
would
no,
do.
I've said too much.
Yeah.
I haven't
no.
said
Where'd that-
enough.
Where'd that line? It came from a song. I said too much.
There's an REM song.
My
Oh
my
no.
friend, my artist friend Tom and I used to sit around and he's like, yeah, man, I've got a big 9 inches dick, like we would go like that.
Like a half an inch.
That's 9 inches, man.
Well, we're gonna get community guidelines on YouTube. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
Steve, that's an REM song. That's me in the panties. That's me. That's me in the diaper. Oh no, I've said too much.
That's the one that always gets me when it's improper English. I think I thought I saw you. I think I thought I saw you. That's like, I thought I saw a pretty tat.
It's okay when you do song lyrics. It's okay to cheat because that's part of what makes rock and roll cool, or what used to make rock and roll cool was being kind of a deviant and making bad taking words and ruining them.
Kind of like what Paul McCartney did in this ever-changing world in which we live in.
Yeah, and I
that.
never would have noticed that if it wasn't for these closet critics saying, "Oh, that was so terrible." He said, and I'm like, it still doesn't mean a big deal to me. Does it really? Does it bother you when he says that? It doesn't really.
No.
What are they complaining about? It's just
Okay,
I
it's
never
Live
realized
and Let Die. He says, but in this ever world, and this
ever-changing
this
world,
ever world change. Sorry,
This
in
ever-changing world in which we live in.
which we live in.
oh,
I
they
don't see.
like
People say it's a redundancy, and I'm just like, because he says "in" twice, and I'm just like, big fucking deal. It's a
right.
song lyric. Are you really gonna make that big a deal out of it? It's an awesome song, except for "What Does Life Matter to You?" That was gay, but the rest of the song was pretty cool.
That was gay.
Oh, what does life matter to you? But that was a pretty good poll.
Yeah.
If you got a song to do, you gotta do it well. Your pussy shaped like a bell. I didn't say. Oh, that's disgusting, Pot. Oh goodness, that's horrible.
Paul, I got. Paul, do you have an answer for this?
I can wait.
Okay.
I can wait for what? I sounded more like Paul than he did there.
Listen.
I can wait.
Yeah.
Hey, can I tell you a disturbing memory that's sad that I think about sometimes when I
I
think
wish
about
I had some
Paul?
violin music here.
What?
That'd be nice. Go ahead. If I had some violin music, go ahead and tell your sad story.
It's in a shopping mall. I remember the Aurora Mall.
Yeah.
Well, I was at the bookstore. No. I was at the record store, and I asked my mom, because I was only 12, can you buy me, I was like, could you buy me this some song? It's in the charts right now, I really like it. No, that's not how it went at all. I was at the bookstore, and there was this book of these cars. It was the Car Spotter's Guide, 1966 to 1980. I was in love. I was like, I really want this book. And I asked my mom for it. She's like, no.
Oh, what was that?
Well, I was 11 or 12 years old, and it was like my dream book, and it wasn't that much money, but she said no, and I'm like, fine. So I was in a bad mood,
Oh,
and
Oh,
and so I was a bratty kid, and I'm moping.
fuck. That was a boo boo. My fault.
So we're going. What was the music store? Musicland.
Sorry.
And she knew I liked to take it away from Paul McCartney. And do you want to buy the record? Take it away. And I'm like, no. Even though I loved the song, I really did want it, but I was being a brat because I was moping, and she didn't buy it for me. And it turned out she gave me the car book for Christmas. That's why she said no. She saved it for Christmas.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I was being a brat, and I could have had the single "Take It Away," and she would have bought it for me if I just wasn't being a mopey little bastard.
I can
Do
wait.
you remember Mama's Family?
Mhm.
Yeah.
There was a story that Mama sold. I'll never forget it. I'm not a big fan of the show, but even a stupid sitcom, there's something that they might say that sticks with you.
Oh, I love the show.
So she told a story about how she wanted something for her birthday, money for her birthday or this and that for some, and her mom didn't give it to her and instead gave her a Bible.
Mm.
And she said she was so pissed off, and I think it caused a rift where she didn't even look at her mama the same ever again.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't until like 10, 20 years later she opened the Bible and the money was in the Bible.
Oh.
Oh wow.
That was pretty for a sitcom. That was pretty deep.
Wait, for Mama said that on Mama's
Yeah, Mama's Family. I'll never forget that.
That doesn't sound like her almost. Does it?
I probably should have told Vicki Lawrence when I met her that, but she probably would have just smacked me over the head like she did with everything else I told her about.
You know, one thing I liked Mama is that she always said, well, once she said it, and it always kind of, resonated with me. She goes, my remedy for birth control is roll over and leave me the hell alone.
That's pretty funny. You probably would have got along with her better than I did. It's
I would've
sad because
loved
I've always adored her, and I'm kind
yeah.
of sad that I went off on the wrong foot. And
Well, it says you didn't flag her down.
yeah, well, I did mention that's the only place we connected was that song that I didn't understand what the hell she was singing about, which was pretty bold because I thought she hated me after the
Mhm.
Harvey Korman comment.
What'd you say about Harvey Korman?
The thing that bothers me about him,
Them laughing?
yeah, and I didn't say it in a bad way. I just thanked her. I said, "Thank you for keeping a straight face during the Harvey Korman, when he broke out." I said that was so distracting, and she gave me the stink eye.
But I saw a video just this morning. It was a routine that Vicki Lawrence, Harvey Korman, and Tim Conway were in on the Carol Burnett show. It's where Tim's doing the old man, and he's supposed to be a surgeon. And Vicki Lawrence couldn't keep a straight face the whole way through. She was laughing.
That's unusual because she was normally, maybe that's why she gave me the stink eye, because she's saying, well, I didn't keep it straight faced all the time.
Oh, a lot of times she would crack up.
They didn't like each other, and Harvey Korman and Vicki Lawrence.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of the cast didn't like Harvey Korman. And
Well,
they
why
got
did she
rid of
give me
him
the
eventually.
stink eye then?
Well, because you gave him a compliment.
I did not. I gave her
No,
a
that wasn't a
compliment.
compliment.
I said, thank you for keeping a straight face when Harvey Korman would break out and break the fourth wall and laugh.
Mm.
And that's when she
Yeah.
gave me the stink eye. And I said, well, I just thought it was distracting when he did that. I shouldn't have had to explain myself. But then I said, I was looking for a picture to buy from her, for her to sign for, I won't say $1 million. They were pretty cheap at that con. So I'm just like, I like this picture of you. It's the night the lights went out in Georgia. And I said, when I gave it to her, I said, my mom had that record, and it took me so long to figure out what the song was about. And she looked at me and said, me too. And she said, in fact, Christy McNichol's two booths down, and I'm glad she's there because she did a movie about the song. And I want to ask her what the hell what it was about. So that gave me some redemption, and we were kind of okay then. And then Wendy, who had just lost Ratchet, her husband, we talked about that we weren't a thing, that we go to this as because her husband died, and I kind of want to get her out and have this fun. And Vicky and her connected because he's like, yeah, I lost my husband too, and they had a touching moment, so it was pretty nice. But then after we saw Barbara Eden, which was on the other side of the big giant room, and we were on our way back again, Vicki Lawrence was all by herself, and I was the robot. And I was passing by, and I waved at her, and she just gave me that stink eye again.
Really? Did she know it was you?
She had to know it was me. I took a picture with her as a robot, but she
you
didn't
must
wave
have
at me.
insulted her. You insulted her craft. That's why.
Well, I don't know, but she was by herself. No handler this time. She was just by herself in the booth. No line. She was just and I was just walking by and I waved at her, and she just looked at me and gave me that eye. I think it's funny. She gave me the mama eye. Maybe that's her thing, the mama thing. But she turned us down for the wrong channel, so I don't know. I don't know anything about her. But I did ask her a question. I said, so maybe you could answer this question. It's been in my part of our little folklore for 30 years. My cousins, see, they lived in Raytown. I was born like 2 blocks from Raytown, literally. And they had told me that you got the idea for Graytown because you were driving through it and got a ticket. And she's like, nope, that never happened. I'm like, okay. And she's like, but I'm going to Raytown for a reunion, this and that. And she was like all happy. I'm like, okay, cool. But she was nice. She wasn't a bitch. I just don't understand the stink eye, if that was her shtick being funny, or if she was actually offended that I thought Harvey Korman was overdoing it with that laughing stuff. You can't be that sensitive. Nobody can be that sensitive.
Tim Conway did that on purpose to get Harvey. I don't think Harvey had control.
But Tim Conway.
He was an actor. Still,
Tim Conway was on that show. I didn't think when Harvey would laugh, I didn't think Tim was that funny. But I saw on YouTube recently the Tim Conway show, which I did watch when I was a kid. But I saw some of that, and I'm like, this is funny. Tim Conway is funny. This is funny. I'm laughing at this. But the stuff that Harvey was laughing at wasn't funny. It was just him going, and it's like, it's not funny. And I thought Harvey was forcing people to try to laugh. It was like an applause sign.
Right.
Saying, this isn't really funny, but I'm laughing, so you got to laugh, is what I thought it was. And even Phyllis Diller, I think, said the same thing. She was insulted by that.
But there are millions of people that watched it that just love the relationship between Tim Conway and Harvey Korman.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that don't, that thought that was very forced and condescending. Which I'm part of that. I just thought, you're a comedy team, and it's funny. It's funny once in a blue moon to break the fourth wall. Mr. Roper on Three's Company. Every once in a while, he'd break the fourth wall, look right into the camera, and laugh when he got a good zinger against his wife. And that was hilarious. But imagine if he did it 10 times a show, it wouldn't be funny anymore.
No.
And that's kind of how I thought with Harvey Korman. It's just like, if it happened once, maybe twice, it would be hilarious. But it almost seemed like that was the goal with every situation he was with Conway. Because Conway wasn't a regular. He was a special guest. He was only on like every other show.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad I got to meet her. That was nice. I'm good. And it's one of the reasons I bought my printer. I want to make printouts of these Comic-Con pictures and put them on my drum wall behind me. And get rid of the tacky sleeping bags I've got back there, which are very sound deadening, and they're the warmest things in the world. I love them. But they're like pictures of ducks getting shot and stuff.
Cool.
It's like typical 70s camping stuff. Dead ducks.
Yep, dead ducks. I didn't watch Mama's Family, and I think the main reason was I thought Vicki Lawrence was pretty cute, just the way she looked, and I don't like when they dress up as old people. You know what I mean? It just didn't.
I understand.
Yeah.
Vicky was cute. I really liked her. I thought that she was kind of hot.
Yep.
But she wasn't hot in the traditional way.
Right.
I thought Alice and the Brady Bunch was good looking, but not in a sexual way. She was just. There's certain people that are unconventionally. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's some people that just, everybody's got different tastes, and some
Yeah,
people-
I'm not saying I have a taste for Alice. I don't like daydream about being with Ann B. Davis. I'm just saying that some people look good unconventionally, and I thought Vicki Lawrence is one of those. She didn't look like a
Yeah.
Barbie doll, but she was cute.
she
I'm
was
gonna
a
have to go, folks. I got a 3-year-old melting down.
girl
Well,
next
come
door.
back
Now,
quick,
yeah,
Steve. Don't just leave us hanging here. We got to have an hour left.
half an
8
hour.
o'clock is when I usually get off anyway.
I thought it was 8:30.
No, it was 8 o'clock.
Is it 8? I guess it is 8.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
do
we'll
need
see you,
to, I need
Steve.
to get going too. I gotta be up early tomorrow.
Well, it's been
So-
fun, you fucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you too, you
It's
fuck.
been a good show.
I wish we'd had a little bit livelier chat group, but maybe next week we need Transferama again.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys. Have a good week.
right,
Take care.
Don't explode your pus and stuff.
Oh yeah, don't.
Was that real, Putt?
What's that?
That story you
No,
said?
oh hell no.
Oh,
My
I'm
wounds
glad
don't-
to. Okay, now I can watch a rerun and not like, oh my god.
Yeah.
On
No,
that
my,
note,
my
All right.
wound is healing very well.
That's good to know. I thought that I didn't know if that was real. Take care, Steve.
Good night. Yeah, no, I'm fine. So anyway, have a good evening. I'm gonna go crawl into bed. I'm very tired.
All right,
So,
take care. Have a good day.
take
Good
care.
night.
You too.
Bye.
Good job tonight.
Thanks. Good job. Bye.
All right.